with that said, let's give you the starting lineup. Like I said, Jordan Babinger, Luke Turpin, your two championship contenders on the front row. It is Babinger's third pole this season. Row 2, like we said, Jeff Edgar. How about him on the inside? And Octavio Rondeletto next to him. Row number 3, Mason Foster and Matt Bear. Row 4, it's Alex Krapser, who's had successful races these past two races in XCAL competition. Can he finally get that win? That's the question. Rounding out the top 10, it's Kenny Tripp and Austin Edwards. Row number 6, Greg Holes and Dwayne Robinson returns. Row 7, it's Patrick Sullivan and Sean Andrews. Row 8, allies John Friley and Josh Doobie. Row 9, Daniel Miller and Ryan Seams. Row number 10, Gregorio Dorso and Joe Campbell. And this driver goes in via a provisional. Brett Edgar, his car inside the top 15, the 53. And then the rest have provisionals. Sean Patrick, Jose Gaudino, Art Hendren, John Brancaccio, Gerald Poole, and Rafael Semprich. That's from 22nd to 27th. These drivers are receiving EOLs. Tyler McRae, Robert Colgan, Jonathan Bronson, Trevor Birchmeyer, Aiden McConaughey, Logan Jones, John Schwartz, Kendrick Cryer, Derek Colson, and Jeremy Leto round out the field of 37. As we get ready to go to green, the field rolling off. I believe it is just one pace lap around Rockingham Speedway. Well, Doug, final thoughts before we go green.
Well, last time we saw a dark horse first win just based on a strategy move. Could see the same thing tonight. Tire wear is going to be an issue. Fuel mileage probably not as big an issue as it's been in weeks past. Might come into play at the end, but we'll see some different strategy and some fast racing. We're going to see a lot of 3 wide in the first 10 laps after pit stops.
The top 2 in the championship on the front row. Octavio Rondeletto, third in points, starts fourth. Race fans, strap in and hold on tight, because these men are about to turn them loose and drop the sledgehammer. The JT's mobile washing pace truck pulls into pit road. Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime at the Rock. Babinger, what a wicked start he got. Turpin caught sleeping, and Jeff Edgar won second into turn 1.
And that was an amazing start by Babinger. Off into turn 1. Everybody 2 wide throughout the field. Everybody staying clean, at least for the moment. But that probably is not going to last very long as these guys start to wear them in and get a little bit of grip. Looks like we had one driver go to pit road already as well. Not sure what's going on there, but Jeremy Leto having some problems early.
Now, that's Jeremy Leto. He just likes to start from the back and pit early. As Babinger leads lap number 1, Jeff Edgar lost some ground to Luke Turpin as they go down Thunder Alley for the second time. Rondeletto and Bear behind him in what looks to be a 3-horse battle for third position. Rondeletto's got to catch it, makes a nice save, and like I said, that's very tough. The toughest part about Rockingham Speedway, your car can get loose easily on the high banks.
Yeah, definitely. And we've already got a call that Blake Wynn for the win. As the 17 is up in the wall, trying to let everybody by clean, but a little bit of a close call. And we did say in pre-race, turn 2 is where we're going to see the issues, the biggest issues tonight. And the 17, I believe it's Leto, is still up in the wall.
Rondeletto's in big trouble. He just got really squirrely in turns 3 and 4. And is losing a ton of time. Look at this. He just lost the 5th position to Blake Wynn, and he's stuck on the outside, which is nowhere you want to be here at the Rock.
Yeah, but we've seen the one thing with Rondeletto, especially on tracks that are this abrasive, is he plays out that strategy. I guarantee you that car is intentionally loose. He is probably playing the long game here tonight. We'll have to wait and see. He could, but we've not seen him have really an ill-handling race car all season, so time will tell, but I'm betting that is an intentional thing. It just got a little bit more loose than he expected.
Back, hang on. They're 3 wide. Daniel Miller on the bottom of the track as Leto was getting lapped by more of these middle-tier drivers. That got really close in the back of the pack, and Leto's still on the high side, trying to let the leaders go on by. Going back to Rondeletto. This was a key driver at Rockingham Speedway the last time we were here. He was inside the top 3.
Oh, the
for most of this
999 just got it. The 999 Leto was slow riding the wall. The 999.
Gets around. Birchmeyer, Kendrick Cryer. Here we go. It's just going to bring out a yellow. They saved it. Somehow, some way. I don't know. That was incredible, but going to be some angry drivers.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an interesting start to this one.
Absolutely. I saw Colgan get turned, then Birchmeyer sideways. Cryer got into him as they were all trying to scorch by Jeremy Leto, but they all made a nice save. Couple of drivers in pit row. Kendrick Cryer is coming into the pits with a vibration. Sean Andrews and Art Hendren. So as I was talking about, I think we talked about it early with Ron DeLetto. He was a top 3 contender early on in most of this race until a yellow ended the longest run of the race because he had already pitted under a green flag cycle. But that was 2 seasons ago. A lot of things have changed on the iRacing platform when it comes to street stocks, Doug.
Definitely. Tire model, damage model, just about everything has been updated. They keep it as accurate to what's being used in the real world as is possible, and it definitely shows in a lot of these races. And Ron DeLetto is one that has adapted really, really well to every change. He actually, when we were at Texas, you remember that race very well, at Texas, after a huge change to these cars, he was one that was battling up in the top 3 all night. So these kind of races, these are kind of his forte, and he has been in that points battle all year. He's missed so many wins, and we talk about it almost every week. He gets so close to getting that win, but can't quite get there yet as Matt Bear struggles getting up off turn 4.
Biggest movers of the race so far from the start, Jonathan Bronson up 10 spots from 20th. He's been a key contender in these last few races. When will Bad Luck Bronson get that win? And the driver who won last time at the Rock, Aiden McConaughey, up 10 spots from 22nd. And remember, both of those drivers are in EOL situations. They already start the race with 1 strike.
Yeah, Aiden was definitely one that managed to keep that car clean the whole race last time. And worked his way all the way up to the front. Great strategy calls and great racing got him up there. It looks like he might have a little blink on this time, though. And Jonathan Bronson just keeps charging towards the front. As you mentioned, a lot of close calls so far this season. He's another one that is probably going to get at least 1 win before this season is out.
McConaughey, by the way, getting warned that he is blinking as the battle for the lead starting to heat up just a little bit. Babinger, Turpin, and Edgar. Now Turpin loses a little bit of ground, and let's see what Edgar does here. Carling separates 2nd and 3rd going into turn 3. They run each other's same lines, but I think Turpin drove it on entry a little bit too much there. Let's see if Edgar capitalizes on this off of turn number 4.
I saw something really weird, and I'll have to watch Edgar as he goes into 3 again, but it almost looked like he turned right and shifted the whole body to the left and then came back down to make that corner entry. And I've got to think that is something he has figured out to save some time. Yeah, he did it again. He just barely shifts the car left and then back to the right, saving. I think he's doing that to save tires and carry some momentum. Interesting. I've never seen that move done before, and I've not seen anybody else so far in this race do it.
That will likely be 4 tires and fuel. That will be the case here at Rockingham, whether we are under green or under the yellow flag.
Definitely. We've seen a lot of guys pull off right sides only a lot recently. We've seen some guys that only changed left sides 1 time in the entire race over the last 8 or 10 races, and there's no way you do that at Rockingham.
Look at this battle for 4th position. Matt Bear just got by Blake Wynn for the top 5 spot. Ron DeLetto's also in this battle. This is a smorgasbord entering turn number 3. Just like the top 3, all running the same lines as Ron DeLetto. Got a little bit squirrely again in turns 3 and 4. Bear tries to capitalize, tries to pull up down to the inside.
I'm beginning to wonder if the temperature has varied enough to loosen up Ron DeLetto's car. Everybody else might have tightened it up right before the race started, but he still 17 laps into this thing and still a little squirrely. Makes me kind of wonder if the temperature, because there he is, the back end kicks out a lot. Matt Bear might get the run here.
Track temp, by the way, 102 degrees, which means for a very slick racetrack here at the Rock, especially on the high banks. And now Turpin, let's go back to this battle for the lead. Turpin on the spoiler of Babinger. Here we go. Could be a big point swing here. Remember we said coming in, it was a 33-point lead for Luke Turpin over Jordan Babinger. Babinger right now has the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. And right now he would close the deficit by 10 points at the moment, so it would go down to 23. He does not have the fastest lap of the race. Currently that belongs to Jeff Edgar. Just confirming here, it is Edgar with a 26.72, currently running in 3rd position. So the top 3 all off to some very good starts. By the way, Babinger too, also 5 bonus points for having the pole position. So that cuts it down to 18 points at the moment.
Yeah, and speaking of lap times, you look at these guys up here at the front, they're still faster than everybody behind them. Everybody's lost at least half a second in the last 20 laps. That is just completely due to tire wear, and everybody will continue to slow down. I think we saw after about 30 laps, you're talking about 4 seconds slower. As here goes Turpin to the high side, off into turn 1, can't get it completed, but it looks like he is going to start working Babinger pretty hard here.
Babinger, the defensive line, entering turn 1, washed off the racetrack just a little bit. Turpin's going to try it once again. Babinger shuts the door on Superman.
And Jeff Edgar is just sitting back there watching and learning and saving his car. That is all he is doing. He's had opportunities. He could have easily gotten underneath Luke Turpin and taken second. He didn't do it. I think he is just lurking. He said he was going to take it easy the first 100 laps or so and play it safe. And I think he might be the one to watch tonight.
Absolutely, I don't blame him for doing that. You see your second group of 3, Ryan DeLetto, Bear, and Win. And again, Ryan DeLetto washes up the racetrack, back to the battle for the race lead. Turpin tried to seek up on the outside, and Edgar was there, but yeah, Edgar's just not going to make any moves right now unless the top 2 get together. They're working on some lap traffic. That's Trevor Birchmeyer. Last car on the lead lap, as here we go for the lead. Turpin all the way underneath, washes Babinger off the track. Babinger is loose, and what a save for Jordan. I know he's not going to like that.
No, but he has got to be happy about that save. That could have ended his race right there. And you know, Luke Turpin is a clean driver. He is not one to intentionally get into that. He's probably already apologized profusely. But, yeah, that was just some bad luck, bad timing, a little too deep into the corner, but an amazing save by Babinger. And Jeff Edgar could have slipped by both of them there, chose not to do it, and he's lurking. That's all he's doing. It's going to be fun to watch him.
Turpin, by the way, is on Will. Petey just apologized to Jordan Babinger, wasn't trying to touch him at all. Babinger, nice save, falls back to 3rd, but Turpin now extending the points lead currently as they work their way by Birchmeyer. And Edgar is now within a half car length. Turpin gets a little bit tight on the exit of turn 4. Let's see what Edgar does here. Oh, Edgar washed up on the exit. That's not going to work out.
Interesting, too, as we've seen Turpin and Babinger race side by side all season. You know these two try really hard not to get into each other. They both want to win this title clean. And Edgar, he just wants to get that win, and he is definitely in the position. And as this run goes on, he appears to be just about every lap. He is as fast or faster than the other 2 cars right there with him. That could make...
Go ahead. Yeah, you can finish.
Turpin just moved over to let Babinger by, I'm assuming.
And yes, he did. That's some class there from Luke Turpin. Jeff Edgar goes to the race lead, gets 5 more bonus points. And look at Babinger. He's weaving the car. Something may be up with that machine as Babinger takes 2nd. Let's go to 7th place because look at this mess entering turn number 3. This is an accident waiting to happen. Look at this hornet's nest off of turn 4.
Yeah, you've got Austin Edwards and Mason Foster there. Austin in the 66, and I know he's got a huge following. And Mason Foster, who we've chronicled it throughout the season, since Michigan has not made a lot of friends. You know, Austin is just trying to get clear of the car underneath of him. He's probably not feeling very confident. And with that battle going on, Alex Crapser, Greg Holes, Jonathan Bronson, all right there behind him. Huge group of cars. And you're right. I don't think that the way they're racing right now, I don't think this pack is going to survive if somebody doesn't give a little.
This is like 11 cars all under a blanket going down Thunder Alley as Edwards gets the advantage. And this is actually, by the way, our best battle on track. Foster and Edwards have been side by side for like 5 to 10 laps right now.
And the question becomes, how long before those tires give up? Because racing side by side, especially in Austin Edwards' position, being up top, it works really well through 3 and 4. 1 and 2, not so much. He gets a push. He gets a run up off 2 this time. Mason Foster's definitely trying to use all the track he can, forcing Austin Edwards to get out of line. Austin's doing an amazing job holding on to it, and both of them better watch out because Greg Holes can get by them, I think, at any moment. He backs off and closes up, and Jonathan Bronson is definitely showing some speed. He's already picked up 19 positions.
Let's go to 4th position. Hard racing right now between Octavio Rondeletto and Matt Barron. How about Matt Barron's paint scheme? I think this is a one-off for him this week with a CM Punk machine. You know, there was a huge story with him being in AEW from what I heard last Friday. I'm not a wrestling fan, so I wouldn't know what happens. But this is definitely hyping up Matt Barron. He's hunting down Rondeletto for 4th position. Blake Wynn, a part of this battle as well. And speaking of Blake Wynn, I'm going to take this out. Wait a second. Hold up. Blake Wynn does not have any names on his rear bumper.
Wait, what? No, that can't be right.
Yeah, that can't be right. Absolutely.
That's weird. We'll have to wait till somebody's right behind him. Wait till Austin Edwards catches up to him and see if we can get a look at that back bumper. That's peculiar to not see any names on his back bumper. I've actually been talking about that to people for a couple of weeks now, how he does that.
Let's go to 7th place once again because the drivers that are double file are working on Birchmeyer. This could get a little bit crazy here. Oh boy, nearly 3 wide to 1, but Birchmeyer is going to let up high. Be careful how you drive that thing, Birchmeyer, on the exit of turn number 2, or else drama could happen and he gives way. That's going to break the pack up just a little bit, accordion down. Crapser is going to be careful just a little bit. That's the battle for 10th. Him and Holder side by side. And now Bronson pulls down to the bottom of the yellow line. 3 wide into turn 1.
Oh, we've got a wreck right behind him.
Daniel Miller, Josh Doobie, and the first yellow is out with the 42.
Let's see what happened here. 42 is down on the bottom, 3 wide. Tried to come up to set the nose in for turn 1. Just got into the car right above him and essentially turned himself across the nose. Took some heavy right front damage. I probably have to be on pit road for a couple of laps for manual repairs, but he should be back out, but definitely not the way he wanted that one to go.
That's a hard shot, especially in that safer barrier for Josh Doobie. So first yellow of the day is out. It was just waiting to happen.
Honestly,
and
the way
here's
that...
what we're hearing. Hang on, this is what we're hearing from Josh Doobie on Will PD. His computer just blacked out as pit road is open, and I believe everyone is coming on down the pits except for the lap traffic, and that is the situation except for one driver. Sean Patrick will stay out and assume the race lead, so he will get those 5 bonus points that are important to him. And we need to explain something else with Doobie in just a moment as everyone's in. We'll see who wins the race off pit road. Sean Patrick now getting 5 bonus points, 17th in the standings coming in, and is in a great battle with Logan Jones and Alex Hellner, the 08 and the 57 for the top 15. The gap between 15th and 17th, and actually, you know what? That's actually a battle for 16th, just between Sean Patrick and Logan Jones. We got to talk about Josh Doobie as well because it's a battle for 14th on the line too.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to hurt Doobie staying in the top 15 and making sure he gets into every race.
Robert Edwards winning the race off pit road with a 33.32. Everyone else is in the 40s. So Edwards had to have taken less fuel, but it's Turpin, Babinger, then Bear Edgar with a very slow stop. Actually, it wasn't really having to do with his pit time. It was pit lane. 116 compared to a 114 for the other drivers. So something tells me he overshot his pit stall. Now Sean Patrick is in pit road along with John Fraley, Gregorio Dorso, Jose Gaudino, and Tyler McRae.
I was really surprised to see that many cars stay out. After Sean Patrick stayed out, everybody else you'd have thought would have tried to dive into pit road and get that stop early. That might have netted them a little bit of track position, but they all stayed out hoping to get those bonus points. Sean Patrick, the only one pulling it off, though.
Absolutely. So Austin Edwards will assume the race lead. He will get 5 bonus points.
Luke Turpin moving up into second, Babinger in third, Matt Bear in fourth, Jeff Edgar in fifth. Blake
And now look at this. Sorry, but Edwards is now coming into pit road, and he is going to think this is just a top off on fuel. So this is an interesting strategy by the 66.
Well, he had made up some positions, quite a few positions on track. I think he can do it again. He was definitely one of the faster race cars here tonight. He hits his pit stall.
Remember, he did this similar strategy last week at the Daytona Road Courses, I believe. The 062 of John Brancaccio is... I thought for a moment he was out of fuel, but that's not an issue as of right now. Wave around cards going on the outside. Bronson will receive the black flag if he does come back in, but right now he is out of the race. And Sean Andrews, Kendrick Cryer, Jeremy Leto get the wave arounds. Continuing on here at the Rockingham Speedway, Jeff Young from Megadeth announcing his new project of Tennifer Gin and their first single out now called Gypsy Soul. Out on YouTube, you can also hear it on Facebook. Make sure you go like them at Tennifer Gin, and let's spell it for you. TENIFERJINN. Tennifer Gin on Facebook.
They are awesome, especially if you're an 80s kid and listen to Megadeth in the 80s. It's I've got to actually interview Jeff a few times and his partner Dinah in the Tennifer Gin group, and great people and great music.
Let's talk about Josh Doobie, by the way. After he's out of the race, there was a 13-point advantage over Alex Halenar for 14th in the standings. Remember, top 15 you have to be in if you want to be a guaranteed spot in, but the gap between 15th and 16th right now is 116 points. Sean Patrick was 4 points behind Logan Jones in 16th position. Patrick with the 5 bonus points definitely helps them out. We're going green this time by. Let's reset the field. Luke Turpin, Jordan Babinger, row 1. Matt Bear, Jeff Edgar, row 2. Row 3, Blake Wynn, Jonathan Bronson. Row 4, Mason Foster, Octavio Rondeletto. Row 5, Alex Krapser and Greg Holes. That is your top 10. Turpin gets the right to fire first, not considered a super speedway, so they can fire whenever they want in that little restart zone. Turpin fires, we're back to green.
Yeah, and he pulled the Babinger move.
Oh! Sorry to interrupt there. Matt Bear may have gotten pulled for changing lanes, but I think he is all good. He keeps it in third position. But how about Jonathan Bronson? He wants P3.
Yeah, Bronson definitely has been on a charge here lately, definitely showing here at the start of the race. And he is started back in 30th, now up to third, a little slide off turn 4. I think we're going to see a lot of sliding. And you know, something else, as he goes to second, what is up with Luke Turpin?
Turpin just let Babinger by for the race lead. They were side by side, and Turpin just said, Babinger, this is all yours. I don't want to race you like that. Oh, car with the wall off turn 2. Rafael Semprich, no issues, got the right front off the ground with how deep the Thunder Rally straight is as we stay green. Semprich, by the way, is one of those drivers that only races primarily on the super speedways, currently in the 12th position.
And yeah, he is one that we've seen a couple of times this season because he is also in Germany. So it's early in the morning there, very early in the morning, like 2 or 3 a.m. So don't see him in a lot of races. Good to see him back on track here tonight, though.
Babinger and Bronson, the DBR teammates, battling for the race lead. Half a car length separate them at the start-finish line. Bronson, by the way, already up 28 spots. Started from 30th position and is having a good day. The question is, though, Doug, he has always had good cars whenever he has driven in an XCAL race. Now the question is, when will he win?
You know, we saw a major upset here at Rockingham earlier in the season. Could tonight be the night that Jonathan Bronson pulls it home? And you know something else that occurred to me under caution. Almost every race this season has been on a much shorter track, half miles and often less. And we have had to extend cautions multiple laps. We're not going to have to extend cautions tonight. I wonder how many guys took that into calculation here with their fuel strategy, not having those extra pace laps to extend that fuel mileage a little bit further. Austin Edwards' strategy might actually be the smartest one out there right now. We'll have to wait and see, but Jonathan Bronson definitely one of the fastest on the track right now.
Absolutely. So, right now, I remember Bronson could have had a chance at winning last week at the Daytona Road Course, but suffered 2 pit road penalties, which took him out of the race. I think that yellow flag that just came out for Josh Doobie, Doug, that was probably the quickest yellow we've seen in the last 5 races from what I recall. Because there have been a lot of great long runs to start off the night.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's been more than that. We've had some long cautions just due to scoring and the way short tracks often come up. And even though Rockingham is a shorter track, it's still a mile. You got a little bit more time to get everybody sorted into line, everybody where they belong, and that definitely plays with some strategy just a little bit. Guys who are counting on, one lap, even just the 1 lap extension could make a big difference late in the race. So some of these guys are going to be playing fuel strategy, and the first race of the season here, we saw earlier cautions and a couple more cautions by now, so that's going to play up some strategies as well.
Aiden McConaughey just got black flagged for blinking in and out a lot, and that's not what the last winner at the Rock wanted to see. Here goes Rondeletto inside on Dwayne Robinson. Robinson's having a good race so far. Currently inside the top 10. They come to blows. They touch. They go up the track. Rondeletto is loose. Can he save it? Into Crapser. Around he goes. Gets Robinson. Huge shot for the 14. Front bumper's gone. Second yellow out.
When they're trying to get past in 3 and 4, we're seeing a lot of that sliding around, and a bit of a heartbreak for Dwayne, and definitely not the way he wanted things to go tonight.
That's a tough break for the 2 drivers. So Jordan Babinger, the race leader, underneath the second caution. We're going to take our first break of the night. We'll be right back for the restart. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, folks, we're back working second caution of the night. Babinger still out front, has Missy Babinger cheering for him. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, the share button. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. You can find all those links at htsai.net.
Oh, absolutely, Doug. Let us know who's watching, where you're from, and who you are rooting for tonight on the Facebook and Twitch stream. More Polish Pottery, a Midwest gift shop and distribution center for Polish pottery stoneware. Guests can shop our vast selection of Polish pottery, one of the largest in the Midwest and the largest selection in Illinois. We sell only quality one Polish pottery stoneware at our retail warehouse style store. The pottery is handmade in Boleslavek, Poland. Whether you're beginning or adding to your pottery collection, More Polish Pottery strives to find the next great addition from thousands of pieces available. Visit us during our regular hours at 8953 Jericho Road in Big Rock, Illinois, or online at morepolishpottery.com. 10 years and running. So one lap until we get the green flag. Penalty was on Octavio Rondeletto. The waves will go to just John Brancaccio and Trevor Birchmeyer.
That's, I do believe, the first penalty that Rondeletto's had this season. Either the first or the second. He got one. He got black flagged for the blinking at South Boston that cost him the race, but I think this is his first wreck penalty of the season.
It's definitely been a while since he has gotten the penalty. Just listening to some guys looking at some guys on Discord. Eddie McConaughey's not happy that his internet's been picking in and out. He just disconnected, by the way, due to incoming packet loss. That's how bad his blinking is. So that is not good for the Halinar Racing team in the 57.
Looks like they extended the caution, and I just thought of something about the 19 car. You were talking about the CM Punk thing. I have no idea what that's about, but for some reason, wrestling's been huge this week. Every broadcast I've had this week, we've had a big discussion going on, so we'll let everybody else chime in on this. Who was better, Stone Cold or The Rock?
Stone Cold, and that's the bottom line, because Marty said so. Yeah, it doesn't work.
No, it really doesn't. But if I had a couple of beers, I couldn't crack them right here and chug them down. I'd end up ruining the computer.
Yeah, same here. All right, let's reset the field as we get ready to go back to green, working lap 55. Jordan Babinger, the leader, with Jonathan Bronson in second. Row 2, Luke Turpin, Matt Baer. Teammates in rows 1 and 2. Row 3, Jeff Edgar, Mason Foster. Row 4, Greg Holes and Ryan Seams. Row 5, Joe Campbell and Rafael Semprich. As they come off of turn number 4, Babinger will have the right to fire first. We get ready to go back to the green flag. Pace truck, the JT's mobile pressure washing pace truck, pulls on in. And the Scum Blaster 350, Babinger fires. We're back to green. Nice restart over Jonathan Bronson. Bronson cannot clear Luke Turpin as Bronson slams the door on Turpin for a second spot. What a move by Bad Luck Bronson.
Yeah, and Turpin had to get a little bit of the apron there. The banking does go a little below the yellow line here, but Turpin definitely had to use the bottom of the banking here. Everybody's staying too wide, at least for the moment. Nothing major happening further back in the field as this battle for the lead really starting to heat up. Bronson definitely has a hot rod here tonight.
And what a restart for Mason Foster in that 96. He's looking for fourth on Matt Baer. Takes the spot away. Slammed the door on Jeff Edgar. Last time by going down Thunder Alley. And he wants third on Luke Turpin. The top two have pulled away from that 454 machine. Bunch of drivers single file. Semprich losing a lot of ground as he's stuck up on the middle side of the track. Battling with Logan Jones for 11th position.
Looks like he'll be able to slot in. And hey, just saw an announcement in the chat. Apparently D4 Motorsports to return to the track in the near future. So another team out there, as the 77 was low on the back straightaway.
Yep, he was serving his pit road penalty, which is a hold for just about 45 seconds. He's letting drivers go actually on the high side as he gets that number 77 up to speed. That puts him now just about 2 laps down. So you can definitely, a lap down. So you definitely lose a lot of time when pitting here at the Rock. Turpin and Foster closing in on your top 2 DBR drivers. And let's talk about Foster while we were at it. Having a good car right now, that 96, 24th in the standings, and is looking for 23rd on Greg Holes. Started in the 5th position today, and he wants 3rd on Luke.
Yeah, and he's definitely got a fast car, and it actually looks like so far tonight, at least, he's being a lot more patient than we've seen in recent weeks. We'll have to wait and see how the night plays out, but as we mentioned, he had a rough start to his XCAL career, didn't make any friends 2 weeks in a row at Michigan, and definitely looking to earn a little respect here tonight, both with speed and with some clean driving.
Oh boy, Joe Campbell, Rafael Semprich battling for 11th as Logan Jones. Jonesy's up to that 10th position, and here we go for 3rd. Foster tried to look inside on Turpin. Now Turpin looks on Bronson for the 2nd spot. Bad entry for Turpin. Foster's going to try and look on the outside. And this may be some trouble here for Foster if he's stuck on the outside of Turpin in 1 and 2. Let's see if that helps out Turpin's teammate Matt Bear as the leaders bump draft.
I'm really surprised to see that little bit of a tap, but it looks like Jonathan Bronson might be getting a little impatient. He knows he's got a faster car. He wants to get around and get the lead. Almost gets into the back of Babinger that time.
Remember, they are teammates, so if Jabroni wants that lead, he's going to have to race Babinger clean a little bit. Babinger playing a little defense on the 28, so this is interesting. Not sure what the memo was by Sean Patrick, R. Hendren, Tyler McRae, a part of the co-ownership of the DBR team. They have a bunch of different teams under those different owners in XCAL competition. And we got a car on the wall, by the way, down the back straightaway from what I heard. I'm not sure who it was as we continue to watch that battle for the lead. Bronson just following Babinger for right now as it's just down to a quarter of a car length.
Yeah, it looks like Dwayne Robinson has gone to pit road, and I believe Alex Crapser is on pit road. That might have been what the car that was got stuck in the wall. Not 100% sure, but yeah, Bronson definitely wants the lead, but now his teammate can't even give it to him easily. If Babinger moves, Foster's going to pounce. Foster's looking for 2nd right now, and Turpin right on his back bumper.
Not sure if you noticed this, but Babinger was just blinking for a moment. Bronson, nice exit for him as they work on the slow. Dwayne Robertson, involved in the 2nd caution last race. Dwayne stays on the apron, currently in the 30th position. As the leaders continue to slug it out. How about this battle going on for 7th spot between Seams and Wynn?
And both of these drivers have been coming on extremely strong late in the season. Seams has struggles with qualifying and getting that car starting up front, but he has no problem working through the pack and getting it up to the front.
Oh boy! Hang on, Kenny Tripp. In 13th spot, that was Patrick Sullivan getting contact from Kenny Tripp. Makes a nice save, and that is a mess for 12th position. Here comes Tyler McRae going down inside on Kenny Tripp.
Yeah, and look who's just in front of him. We saw him make that late on the first caution. He stopped really late to top off on fuel is what we were guessing. Austin Edwards now back up into 11th.
That's a huge mess, just like we saw to start the race. You've got Kenny Tripp, Rafael Semprich, Octavio Rondeletto, Joe Campbell, John Schwartz, and they're so just like it's pretty much just a lot similar to what we saw when Austin Edwards was in that first long pack before we saw the first yellow of the race with Josh Doobie. McRae inside on Sullivan, that is for 12th. And McRae with a little bit of controversy last week after spinning Matt Bear around. Those two went to heavy blows on Will Petey and on Discord after the race. They have tried to forget about it, but I'm interested in watching what happens because they are battling for 5th in the championship. McRae is 5th, Bear is 6th in points. If they see each other, watch that closely with Matt Bear. Luckily for Bear, he's currently in 5th.
Yeah, and look back there right behind, or right in front of Jonathan Schwartz, right behind Raphael, or right in front of Raphael and behind Kenny Tripp, as Octavio started at the back of the field and went 2 laps down and is working his way back to get his laps back the old-fashioned way. He's already passed several cars, but he's reached a group of cars that are going to be very, very tricky for him to pass. Meanwhile, Kenny Tripp is showing some signs of some severe speed as he gives a little pump draft to Pat Sullivan down the front straightaway.
Those two drivers like to have a lot of fun with each other. They're kind of allies in XCAL Racing. How about Derek Colson? Let's give him a shout out right now, because he's usually not the best runner in XCAL competition. Running in the 17th position and is working with his teammate Kendrick Cryer from Dive Bomb Racing. This is a great start to the number 5 senior admin.
Hey, and you know what? Right in front of Colson, just worth mentioning because, hey, it's the first half of the race, and we never mentioned him in the first half. Jonathan Schwartz started in 34th and is now up to 16th. He'll be up there with the front cars before this is all said and done. He usually is, as it looks like there's a problem. There was some smoke right in front of that pack. Everybody seems sorted out, but it looked like somebody might have gotten loose.
Rondeletto going by Sullivan. We're having a good battle for 8th position. Greg Holes and Ryan Seams. Holes on the inside. They're losing some time to the front 7. How about Ryan Seams as well? He seems to have success on tracks that it comes on super speedways. Remember, this is like a combo of a short track and super speedway. Ryan Seams currently in the 9th position on the track. And remember, when we were at Texas on the super speedway there, he had a great run, was looking at a top 5 finish, and then got turned off of Jordan Babinger, ending his day, and was not really that happy with Babinger after what went down. And now Seams could lose the spot to Logan Jones in the number 08. I was telling you, the big block twisted chassis guys were coming in very fast. And here comes Edwards in this equation, too.
Yeah, really not surprised to see Edwards coming up and getting into this battle. He's looking all over the back bumper of Logan Jones. Now he's looking to the high side off of turn 2. We have seen him really come on strong in the last few weeks, and I expect to see him in victory lane again before too long.
So this time by, we're about to put lap 75 on the board, and we do. Jordan Babinger, the race leader, who's led all the laps so far in this race. Right now, Luke Turpin currently in 4th, so let's try and do a little bit of points calculations for those of you folks wondering at home. Again, 5 races left this season, and it's those guys that are in the top 2. 33 points separated them coming into the day. And you subtract 15 points, that would be a 18-point lead, I want to say, and then you add in Babinger, who has led the most laps so far he started on pole, so that goes down to 13. He's led the most laps and a lap, so that would go down to 3. Then you got to add in the lap Luke Turpin led, so that's up to 8 points. And Babinger does not have the fastest lap, and neither does Turpin. So Turpin would currently have the points lead by about 8 points at the moment.
Yeah, this is going to come down to the last race between these two. It's going to be a heck of a season-ending race, and I'd imagine things are going to get really tight depending on what the point situation is going into that night. These are two that we don't see leaning on each other a whole lot. They try and race each other clean, as evidenced by what happened earlier in the race and giving some positions back. But I guarantee you all bets are off in that final race if the points are continue to be that close. And we've talked about it. I mean, throughout the race, it changes so much. Either one of these guys could come out of this race or every race remaining in the season with the points lead. So it's going to get interesting.
Go back to that battle. That is for 9th on the line between Logan Jones, Ryan Seaves, and Austin Edwards. Edwards is losing a lot of time, and here comes that other pack. And look at Edwards. Thought about going 3 wide for a moment, backs out of it as Jones and Seams continue to do battle. And here comes Tyler McRae, Kenny Tripp, and Octavio Rondeletto.
Yeah, Rondeletto still a lap down, but he is working his way forward really quickly. And Kenny Tripp was showing some serious signs of speed just a few minutes ago as Ryan Seams is now going backwards.
You know, I think he caught the wall off of turn number 2, Doug, and he is going back many spots, about to lose maybe 12th here to Kenny Tripp. He just lost 11th to Tyler McRae, and now Edwards and Jones are side by side for 9th position, as it is an 8-car battle for the race lead, all following the leader nose to tail, a lot similar to the Cup race at Michigan on Sunday.
And it didn't stay that way long as Jonathan Bronson looked low, but thought better of it. Mason Foster, one heck of a run off 4. Now he's down to the bottom, and Jonathan Bronson fighting back on the high side.
Oh, man, Bronson, that's tough to play defense like that in XCAL competition here.
And not only that pull down move, after he knew he was clear, he just pulled right down in front of Mason Foster, cut Foster's run completely off, and now it looks like Bronson might look for the lead here, and he's going to force Foster to try and take him on the high side.
You know, I think Foster made the pass on the high side on Turpin for third. Actually, I don't think he did. I think it was a low side pass, as Turpin is looking for third on the 96. Let's see how this works. You've got Babinger and Bronson that are teammates. You've got Turpin and Bear that are teammates. You've got Edgar that's by himself. Same with Blake Wynn. Greg Holes is up here as well. All 3 of the Rolling Thunder cars are inside the top 10.
Yeah, Greg Hulls has had a fast car all night. He has been extremely patient. He's had a couple of side-by-side battles, but there was one earlier we saw him just kind of roll out, fall back in line. He didn't need the position right then, but you can see he pulls right up to the back bumper, especially off of turn 4 on the back bumper of Blake Wynn. And now he's actually looking to the high side. Will he cross over? Not yet.
And this is a great car for Greg Holtz right now. So you've got that first train from 1st to 8th. Then another train is behind them with Edwards in the 9th spot. And then behind them is John Schwartz, currently in 14th. Then you've got Derek Colson working with Kendrick Cryer, and Daniel Miller are battling for 15th. Robert Colgan, Patrick Sullivan, Brett Edgar, Joe Campbell, Sean Patrick make up a train up to 21st position. Then it's Jose Gaudino and John Friley in 22nd and 23rd. And then it's all just scattered behind them from the looks of it. So why don't we take this opportunity to give you a full field rundown at the moment. Jordan Babinger, the leader. Jonathan Bronson is 2nd. Mason Foster 3rd. Luke Turpin 4th. Matt Bear 5th. Jeff Edgar 6th. Blake Wynn 7th. Greg Hulls 8th. Tyler McRae just took 9th away from Austin Edwards. And Logan Jones is 11th. Kenny Tripp 12th. Ryan Seams 13th. John Schwartz 14th. Derek Colson 15th. Daniel Miller 16th. Robert Colgan 17th. Patrick Sullivan 18th. Brett Edgar 19th. Joe Campbell is 20th. How about you get the rest of them, Doug?
You got Sean Patrick in 21st. Jose Gadino currently running in 22nd. John Friley in 23rd. Gregorio Emilio Dorso is 24th. Gerald Thanospool is 25th. Trevor Birchmere running in 26th. John Brancaccio in 27th. Jeremy Leto in 28th, and Octavio Rondoletto currently 29th, a lap down, trying to fight his way through this big mess right in front of him. Sean Andrews is in 30th, Kendrick Cryer 31st, Rafael Simpruch now back to 32nd, Dwayne Robinson is on pit road in 33rd, then it's Alex Krapser, Art Hendren, Aiden McConaughey, and Josh Doobie.
Front of the field, starting to go to work. Turpin and Bear are trying to work together to get by Mason Foster for 3rd position, as Edgar got tight in the center of 3 and 4. Stays in 5th position. Got a couple of drivers reporting that they're coming in. John Brancaccio, who's in 27th, says he is pitting this lap. Waiting to see if any of the front 7 are going to pit. Bronson, by the way, and this is something interesting that we were noticing off of turn number 2, Bronson is exiting lower compared to Babinger. You think this is a strategy of defense to keep the DBR drivers 1st and 2nd?
It has to be. That's the only reason I can think of that you would push it to that limit and risk melting your tires. That's a little bit tricky to do, and later in the run it'll get harder, so we'll have to wait and see how it happens. But with guys coming to pit road, you know, things as Kendrick Cryer's on pit road, Joe Campbell, Art Hendren, a lot of guys starting to come to pit road, coming towards the end of the run, and Jordan Babinger, Jonathan Bronson still extremely fast.
Oh, we got smoke.
Bronson missed pit road.
Wow. Unless, I don't know what was going on there. That's interesting. As Mason Foster's trying to look on the outside for second position. He didn't say on the wheel PD that he was pitting this time. As here comes Edgar. He wants third on Foster as they get ready to come in for pit stops shortly.
Oh, and the two cars. Oh, we're going to have a wreck.
Bronson is loose. Nice save from him. That got wicked close. And Bronson, look at that, got by Babinger on pit entry. But the question is, I'm not sure if this is going to be a speeding penalty for Bronson because accelerated him a lot faster.
It's definitely going to be close. From the look of it, he was on the brakes before he got to the commitment cone, so I think he's okay. And Mason Foster finally gets out and gets to lead a lap here. Luke Turpin, we know, as we're seeing a lot more cars come in behind, we know Luke Turpin's going to stay out longer than anybody. Tyler McRae staying out. Austin Edwards, we knew he'd be staying out as well with his fuel strategy here tonight. And Austin Edwards now being scored in third as he is side by side with McRae.
And Foster, I think, will pit this time, and he will, so Luke Turpin will lead. As I am watching closely here on the pit exit, Greg Holes comes out ahead of Jordan Babinger.
And we're three wide. We're 3 wide down the front straightaway. Kenny Tripp had a run on the bottom, backs out of it, and lets Austin Edwards slide in. Octavio Rondoletto is now going to come by, and it is getting really dicey with the cars that have not pitted yet.
Holes just lost it on cold tires for a moment as the leader comes down pit road. And off turn 4, let's see here, Tyler McRae takes the lead. That's 5 bonus points that he will have now over Matt Bear in that battle for fifth in the standings.
And Octavio looked like he drifted up into the wall as Austin Edwards now trying to hold on and get some bonus points here. I fully expect him to be able to go a little bit further than the 99 can. We'll have to see what the strategy ends up being here.
Babinger came out in front of Bronson. Got to be very careful, by the way, when you exit pit road as well for about a lap or two. You're on cold tires, and sometimes when you drive it in, that rear end can come around.
It definitely can. And this pit road is not exactly easy to get up off of either. You're coming up to speed on the bottom of the back straightaway. You got to pay attention to where everybody's coming. And just the pit road exit spot is difficult at best.
Now, something you got to remember, too, with your top 5, Tyler McRae, Austin Edwards, Kenny Tripp, Logan Jones, top 4, I should say, they pitted after they stopped just to top off on field. Actually, they came in a lap later than guys like Luke Turpin, Jordan Babinger, etc. So let's see what happens here this time. I think they're all going to come in together. Waiting to see here. Nope, they're going to go another lap here. This is a very interesting strategy. I think they're banking on a yellow. Well, if they get a yellow, they'll trap Rondoletto, Andrews, and Wynn. Actually, they'll get a wave around. Babinger and Bronson could get trapped a lap down, so they're just banking on a yellow right now. 13 drivers are on the lead lap.
And we know from last week and from the last couple of weeks, actually, Austin Edwards, really, really good fuel mileage here. Really good strategy moves as well. And him pulling things like pitting on the last possible lap of a caution is going to extend his mileage as well. So that could come into play before the night's out. This, depending on how many extra laps they go here, I mean, that could make a huge difference at the end. Kenny Tripp has had a fast ride all night, and he keeps looking to the inside of Austin Edwards.
Tripp was thinking about it, but I thought Tripp was going to say for a moment that he was going to pit in this time. Let's take a look and see who was cycled through as the leader. I think, and this is an I think, Blake Wynn is the leader. And here's why. He had a stop on pit lane that was 11 seconds better than Babinger. He's 7 seconds ahead of the number 48, but so I would assume he took less fuel. And McRae comes in. They're 3 wide for the lead. Rondoletto gets out ahead, and Kenny Tripp gets the 5 bonus.
And that should put Rondoletto right back to the tail end of the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. So he is in perfect position. If they get that caution here now, that could really work out for Rondoletto and a great strategy move. But Austin Edwards definitely not making it easy on Rondoletto here.
And he's got just about a half-second lead on Logan Jones at the moment. Austin Edwards now is going to come in the pit road this time, but he is stuck on the outside. Let's see what happens here. Is he going to let off the gas here and let the 05 of Jeff Edgar go by? He will. Logan Jones is second. The top 6, from the looks of it, have yet to pit. Let's see what happens. Edgar gets a little bit loose there in 3 and 4 on the cold tires. So Edwards comes into pit road. Logan Jones stays out. So he matches the 5 bonus points with Sean Patrick, so they stay neutral at the moment. And Logan Jones now says he's going to pit this time by 4.5-second lead on ally Robert Colgan.
And everything starting to cycle through now, but this is really a longer green flag stop session than we are used to seeing out of these guys, as we should see Robert Colgan come to pit road. There he comes. Gregorio Dorso's coming down. That's going to put Jeremy Leto, if he stays out, that'll put Jeremy Leto.
I hope he stays out. I hope he stays out just for the laughs.
Yep, he is going to stay out. That puts Jeremy Leto, who drove through pit road on lap one to be in the back, is now in the lead.
Now, he won't get 5 bonus points just yet. It goes to Robert Colgan there. I hope Leto stays out just extra. Leto just needs to lead just for the trolls. Rondoletto, by the way, currently in second. Now, I would assume he's on a different run there, as Edgar almost turned him because of his black flag he had. And Jeremy Leto just got 5 bonus points.
And Leto definitely needed that. That is definitely going to be a morale boost for Leto. He's had a rough couple of months here recently and a lot of struggling. So that's got to be a happy moment for him to at least get those bonus points tonight and definitely have some strategy play out. We'll see if he comes to pit road this time. No, he doesn't.
Imagine if a yellow comes out right now.
Rondoletto would be back on the lead lap in second place, and Jeremy Leto would be first. But now we got Jordan Babinger, Jonathan Bronson going back by. They are unlapping themselves.
Yep, he lets them go by, and now he says he is paid this time. Give it up for Jeremy Leto, who just got 5 bonus points. I have to look at the stats closely, but I think those may be the first ever laps that Leto has led this season. I'm going to take a look right now.
Either way, that is awesome for Leto. And now I believe the lead is going to cycle to somebody we don't talk about in the first half usually. If he does not come down pit road, I think Schwartz is going to take the lead here. And he is not coming down pit road, so I'll have to look. I don't know that he is pitted.
So Schwartz has...
He did.
His last stop, yeah, he did pit on lap 103. He did a quicker stop compared to Blake Wynn and Babinger. So Schwartz will have the lead just by about a second over Blake Wynn. Then 7 seconds behind them is Jordan Babinger and Jonathan Bronson. They got some teamwork behind them, too, with Trevor Birchmeyer in there. I'll tell you this, too, with Jeremy Leto leading. That is the 4th race in which he has led laps this season. Led at Charlotte, led at Texas, led at Phoenix, on... He has not led since Texas on March 9th.
I know Phoenix was led under caution. I remember that one specifically. I'm almost certain those are his first green flag laps led. We'll have to double check that, but that's still awesome for him and a great morale boost. And stretching that, he stretched that mileage a lot further than most of them did. That could come into play. Could he get his first top 10 or top 5 of the season?
Absolutely. So Schwartz leads Blake Wynn just over a second now, and Jordan Babinger and Jonathan Bronson are on the tails with Luke Turpin currently in the 5th position. We're going to take a break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Scum Blaster 350 here at The Rock at Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina. 114 laps are complete. Jonathan Schwartz is the race leader. Blake wins second. Jordan Babinger third. Jonathan Bronson fourth. And Luke Turpin in fifth position. The drivers in third and fourth, by the way, have been able to close the gap down just a little bit. Still near that 7-second threshold, but officially for Schwartz over Babinger, just about 6.8 seconds.
And a heck of a run for Schwartz tonight. Like we mentioned before, don't usually see him up front this early in the race, but here he is out front leading. Tonight might be his night.
He's got a win earlier this season for the Big Block Motorsports Camp that did come at Phoenix early on this season. Comes in seventh in the point standings. He was 53 points back on Tyler McRae and Matt Bear. Matt Bear running in sixth. Tyler McRae in 11th, so definitely this would be a huge confidence booster for John Schwartz to try and get into that battle for a top 5 spot in points before season's end.
Another driver having a great run tonight is Blake Wynn, currently in second, up 6 spots from his start, and quite a ways ahead of the Babinger and Bronson battle, and Luke Turpin back there a bit as well. The pack is really split up now. Quite a few gaps in there. A lot of 1s and 2s and 3 cars in groups of 1, 2, and 3, but getting a little bit spread out. We'll see them come back. If this thing stays green, they'll eventually cycle back around and everybody be close. Only 2 cautions so far, so this could be our long green flag run right here.
Blake Wynn stuck in some heavy lap traffic with Semprich and Miller that are side by side, and they are battling for a position so they can race each other. And at the same time, because they're not even a lap down yet, and Blake Wynn's in second, they can race Blake Wynn as well. So right now, if there were to be a yellow that would come out now, it would be getting the wave around Joe Campbell, Daniel Miller, and Rafael Semprich. So they are racing too for a wave around spot. I'd like to say hello to a couple of people watching on Facebook. We've got William Bruce Mann Jr., who loves Rockingham. Butch Baker wants to try to make this race and says maybe next time. You said about her earlier, Doug, but Missy Babinger rooting for Jordan in the 48. Stephen Jody Haggard rooting for Mason Foster. We got Danielle Sargent in chat as well. Rooting for Joe Campbell, Sean Andrews, Ryan Seams, Mason Foster, Thanos Poole, and Alex Crafter. Who we got on Twitch, Doug, that we've got?
Dcash Gaming is calling Blake Wynn for the win tonight. Halinar Racing is watching from Binghamton University in New York. RS Fastlane is saying the D4 2022 contender. Halinar Racing is said Party Rock is in the house tonight. And of course we had the Fastlane letting us know D4 Motorsports will be returning to the track in the near future. Look forward to having them back.
And we can't wait for that as well. Dcash Gaming, I believe it's Alex Gingler, who is not in the field. Want to give a big hello to him. A great guy to race against in XCAL Racing, one of the more respected drivers in the field. Babinger and Bronson, by the way, were able to close the gap to Blake Wynn down 4.5 seconds. However, though, there is lap traffic ahead with the Semprich and Miller combo, and they even got Joe Campbell in this battle. So this is a 4-horse battle. You've got Daniel Miller, Joe Campbell, Rafael Semprich, Thanos Poole. This is a battle for 19th on track, and you even got Jose Gaudino in this battle and Gregorio Dorsal.
Yeah, and seeing a lot of these little groups all over the track and a lot of side-by-side racing here and there. Definitely going to be an interesting night to see how everything plays out. As I mentioned last time we were here, they all spread out for that long green flag run, and it might come to shore as Rafael Semprich drifts up in the middle of 3 and 4, almost gets into Joe Campbell on the high side.
Yeah, Joe Campbell has been really furious these past few races, dealing with some controversy with Robert Colgan. Blake Wynn, let me tell you this. I think he was just singing a little bit of Frozen in the Will PD chat. I have access to it, and I think he was just singing a little bit of it in the chat.
I swear if you repeat a single line of that, I will mute you for eternity. I have 4 daughters. I've heard enough of it.
Do you want to build a race car?
Not even that. That's unacceptable.
Hey, I said a race car. I didn't say the other one.
It's too close.
Let's find some other battles around the field. I mean, Bronson and Babinger have been battling really good together. Let's go to here. This is a battle for 12th position on track. It's Austin Edwards, Kenny Tripp, and Logan Jones. They've got Octavio Rondeletto in front of them, who's currently in 28th and is still a lap down.
You know what's interesting is Austin Edwards and Kenny Tripp, and really all 3 of them, Logan Jones, the 3 of them have been together most of the night. Logan Jones, once he climbed up from his 33rd starting spot, he got up there, and these 3 cars have just been together, racing each other a lot side by side. It's going to be interesting to see if the 3 of them stay together. They've stayed single file since the last pit stop, so we'll have to see if they start battling side by side again. But on these long runs, they've just stayed nose to tail, not a lot of battling. But Kenny Tripp has shown a couple of times he's got a really, really fast car there.
And thought for a moment we had a change for position, and we do not. We've got a good battle for 6th though happening between Mason Foster and Matt Baer.
Yeah, and those 2 are still nose to tail. They're quite a ways. They're about 1.5 seconds behind Luke Turpin. They've got the 06, which is a lap down, right in front of him, and now Mason Foster going to the bottom in 3 and 4. Matt Baer now sliding by as well. Lap cars letting them by. They're going to continue to run, but now Matt Baer looks like he might have a run down on the bottom. Will he be able to capitalize? No, Mason Foster actually pulls away a little bit.
Mason Foster actually had a much better entry into turn 1, which definitely helped increase the gap. And here comes the leader. Jonathan Schwartz comes into pit. Remember, he had a shorter stop, just like Blake Wynn, unlike Babinger and Bronson, who were the leaders as we entered the pit road cycle. So Blake Wynn will assume the lead, 4.7-second lead on Babinger and Bronson. How about this? They did a really good job, actually, when you think about it, getting through some of this traffic, like Alex Krapser and I think Joe Campbell, too, but they still got some more drivers to get to, like Daniel Miller, Jose Gaudino, and Gerald Poole.
Yeah, and meanwhile, a little bit further back in 8th, 9th, Jeff Edgar and Tyler McRae have been battling, and Derek Colson is he's up in 10th and actually starting to close back up on these guys as he's broken free from the pack led by Austin Edwards behind him, but it looks like with Octavio right there in the 77, Octavio's actually pulling them back up now. It looked like Derek had a couple of really fast laps, pulled away from him, and Octavio Rondeletto now right back to the back bumper. But a great run for Derek, currently running in 10th.
You know, listen to this. He started in 36th position. He's up 26 spots now and is 1 position off from the hard charger which is right now plus 27, which belongs to Jonathan Bronson. If he can get plus 28 at this moment, he could be in a big target for 5 bonus points, which would be huge considering the battle he is in points. 6 points behind Aiden McConaughey, who is 28th in the standings, and Colson, it's actually a 3-horse battle for 28th. Behind Colson is the number 25, which I don't even think is entered, so technically right now it's a 2-horse race in this battle.
Yeah, and Colson losing a couple of spots here. I think he was one that pitted early in that green flag cycle, so he is losing a little bit of ground on the guys that have slightly fresher tires. Trying to look, he pitted about 10 laps before everybody else around him, so those 10-lap fresher tires are definitely showing here, but that pit strategy long-term could come into play. We'll have to wait and see, but here at Rockingham, even even 5-lap fresher tires can make the difference, and if it comes down to the end of the race and it's 5 laps fresher tires, that can make the difference, and Derek Colson might be playing a long game here.
Absolutely. His best finish of the season is a 10th place finish that came at Thompson. So a good run for him. He's yet to lead an XCAL race this season. So keep that in mind too. So, as we're at it right now, by the way, Coulson did lose some ground to Logan Jones, who made contact with him. Kenny Tripp, Austin Edwards got by for 10th and 11th. The window is open, by the way. So other drivers are coming in. Kendrick Cryer just said he's coming in. 4.5-second lead for Blake Wynn over Jordan Babinger. When does Blake Wynn pit? I think he's clutching the car right, actually, when you think of it, trying to save some fuel.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that, but I'm trying to do the math on it. They're only getting about 40 laps on a tank, 40 to 45. Some of these guys, though, I'm sure we're going to see Luke Turpin pull 50 plus out of that tank, as he always does. And some of these guys will be able to stretch it. And again, that's going to come down to some really interesting strategy with as much of a swing. We started seeing the last pit stop cycle. We started seeing cars hit pit road at lap 90 and didn't see it finishing until lap 109. So 20 lap difference between some of these pit stops, and that's going to make things interesting, both fuel, tire strategy wise, but also with guys coming off pit road with fresher tires, battling guys on older tires.
John Brancaccio coming on the radio saying he just pitted out. And Joe Campbell now reporting he's pitting in from 19th position. Nice run so far from Campbell. And Patrick Sullivan now pitting from 14th position this time. Blake Wynn, I believe, will pit this time from the lead.
And you know what? The last couple of laps, Babinger and Bronson have really closed the gap on Blake Wynn as they're coming to pit road.
Oh my gosh. I thought Bronson sent it in on pit entry so we could see if he could assume the lead from Babinger. And he almost got turned off the front bumper, Babinger, which would have been Bronson's fault too.
And here's another kicker. Blake Wynn did not pit.
Wow. That's impressive from Blake. That really is.
And he's not pitting now.
That he went less on that stint. Well, that he took less fuel on that first full run, and now goes longer. That is an absolute beautiful job by Blake Wynn right now, and we'll see how he does throughout the night. 10th in the standings, by the way, coming in, 42 points behind his good friend Kendrick Cryer for 9th. Actually, no, correction. He's actually tied for 10th with Jonathan Bronson, and now Blake Wynn comes on in. Actually, I should technically say the 81 and the 28 are tied for 10th.
And who else would still be out there taking the lead now? Luke Turpin. He pitted on lap 96. He would be right in. Well, everybody else that pitted on lap 96 has either already pitted or is pitting now. The only two that have been out longer, Matt Bear and Mason Foster, who are currently in second and third. Mason pitted on 95, Matt Bear pitted on 94, and Matt Bear's going to come to pit road this time. Mason Foster stays out, and now I believe Luke Turpin's coming to pit road.
This is very weird, seeing Luke Turpin not go on these long runs like we've seen in the past, but he's not. Remember, like we said, like he talked about pre-race, he is not focused on the long runs. He is focused on being fast because this is the fastest car he has had at the Rock.
And Mason Foster back up front leading. Austin Edwards now a ways back, currently in second, and Austin's coming through a big mess. Octavio Rondoletto, holy cow.
How do they not wreck with Kenny Tripp? I don't know, and that's actually a battle for the lead. Austin Edwards and Kenny Tripp, who are working on a different strategy. Remember, they pitted under the first yellow just to top off on field. We got one in the wall, by the way. It's Rafael Semprich in turns 1 and 2. No harm, no foul. We stay green, but Tripp pulling up using that nice draft from Austin Edwards and nearly got into him in 3 and 4. This could get dicey.
Oh my God, 2 lap cars right in front of Austin Edwards. He's trying to make sure he gets some bonus points here. He does, and it is getting really sketchy. And that, you know, it's not like it's gonna be clean if he goes backwards. He can't sit back and fall back in line now that he's got the bonus points because there's a mess right behind him. So he is just surrounded, and things are getting really, really sketchy. Now 3 wide off of 4. Kenny Tripp way down low.
And he may go for the race late here. Edwards, no, shuts the door on him. Oh, Colgan! Colgan gets another 53! And that is and he's in the wall. They're like, oh, Suprich goes around. That may not be a yellow or will it. He's on the apron. That should not be an issue. He toes it.
And yeah, that was really, really sketchy off of 2. The 53 bounced off the wall, and Raphael just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That it was bound to happen the way these guys were racing, and this is another one of those circumstances we were talking about just a moment ago. Different tire strategies. Some of these guys are way faster. Some of these guys on way fresher tires as Kenny Tripp looks to the high side in 3.
Thought for a moment Austin Edwards was going to pit this time. Here goes Tripp for the race lead. Edwards just let him go by for the 5 bonus points.
Kenny did lead at the line. He did get the bonus points. You saw him set up. He went high in 4 and then cut back down, carried that momentum off, and it's getting a bit chaotic out there with this round of green flag stops. And if this thing stays green to the end, let's just think about this, and this keeps happening, it just speaks to the skill of all these guys with 35 cars out there right now and all these different pit strategies, all these close calls, and everybody keeps saving it.
Austin Edwards, and this is something we have yet to talk about tonight, is in a record-breaking situation. Last week, his 9th win tied the record for most wins in an XCAL season. One more tonight would put him in double digits.
And yeah, and you know he wants that win really, really badly.
Looking at a couple of things, by the way, of some of the drivers that have already pitted, and actually Jonathan Bronson jumped Blake Wynn, and how about this? Jeff Edgar jumped Bronson, Wynn, and Babinger on the stop. Did an 11-second shorter stop, kind of similar to what John Schwartz did, and Jeff Edgar could be the provisional leader in just a moment as Kenny Tripp comes down pit road, gives up the lead. Edwards has it now just by over 4 seconds on Logan Jones.
Yeah, several different strategies, and the other thing about these long green flag runs and all these green flag stops, we're seeing as many as 20. Now this time, probably 25 laps is the entire pit cycle. And when you're talking about a 45 to 50 lap run, there's going to reach a point if it stays green where somebody's going to be pitting all the time. And more chaos to come. Austin Edwards works that strategy and that fuel mileage and the tire wear really, really well. This could be the night he gets that record.
Why don't we go to a battle for 15th currently? That's definitely going to change, actually, for 14th. All the Rolling Thunder teammates, nose to tail, Luke Turpin, Greg Holes, and Matt Baer. And Edwards, by the way, we can tell you he's in pit road.
And I'd imagine these 3 teammates, the way they've been running tonight, I don't see any of these guys challenging the other one right now. They've all got about the same speed, but man, Greg Holes is having one heck of a run tonight. He has had some bad luck in recent weeks after having really a good season at the start of the season. Had some bad luck, and he is starting to make his way back forward. And just as soon as I say something, Matt Baer looked like he was going to make a move on his teammate.
Something I just thought about, too, as Logan Jones is in the lead for the first time today, I believe, is you got to be careful when you're both entering and exiting pit road because you get so much marble. There's so much marbles now on the apron because of the long run we've developed, is that you get marbles on your car. Remember, the tires have no traction at all. So your race cadet, so you got to be very careful in entering pit road, and especially with your brakes.
Yeah, and you know who's hoping somebody mess up on pit road right now? The guy
Octavio Rondeletto.
That's right. He had that early race penalty and has managed through strategy. He's back on the lead lap, but his pit strategy way off of everybody else. He is hoping that he gets a caution here while he's up in the lead. He would not only undo what happened with his penalty, but he would trap so many cars a lap down. As of right now, as these pit stops cycle, there's actually only 2 cars on the lead lap.
And by the way, we can tell you this, with this pack that's in a battle for what is now 5th, Jonathan Bronson was able to get by Jeff Edgar, so provisionally Bronson could be the leader with Edgar 2nd, Wynn in 3rd, and Babinger in 4th, who has lost ground with Bronson, Wynn, and Edgar.
And Schwartz actually out in front of all of them right now, but he pitted before they did, almost 10 laps before Bronson, so that's going to come into play here too. This could be also another thing we may see here tonight with this going on as Octavio Rondoletto comes to pit road. With all of this going on, and you're going to love this, Jeremy Leto may be taking the lead again here. And with all this going on, we might actually see a record number of leaders tonight.
That is not at a super speedway, too. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So not at a plate track and a record number of leaders. And Jeremy Leto does assume the lead. Now, last time I believe he led for about 4 laps before he had to come to pit road. Should be able to get a couple of extra laps out of it this time. And huge shout out to Leto for what has been a tremendous run. Even when he's not in the lead due to this pit cycle, he's still been in the top 20 most of the night.
Just taking this opportunity to look at the stats in the record books for mostly. I don't think I have that yet. I'm going to try and research that, though, tonight and see what happens as Leto will pit this time by, and that will give the lead in a little bit to Jonathan Schwartz. Bronson, by the way, look at the gap he's put on Jeff Edgar. Him and Blake Wynn are going to war for 4th.
Yeah, they are. And I think this battle right here is really going to heat up as the night goes on. These two have been playing pretty nice with each other, but Blake Wynn definitely faster earlier in the run. Jeff Edgar definitely faster later in the run, and that does make things really exciting when the two of them are trying to battle it out. Oftentimes I think it may come down to a situation of who comes off pit road up front, as they're really, really equal for the most part.
Absolutely. So I don't think we have a record of most lead changes in the XCAL race, but we will get that to you before the end of the season. Nearing halfway, it's a 1-second lead for Schwartz over Bronson. Blake Wynn 3rd, Jeff Edgar 4th, Jordan Babinger back up to the 5th position. Let's see if we got any other close battles happening on track. Last car is on the lead lap. Kenny Tripp, Brett Edgar nose to tail.
And not only are they nose to tail, but they are in a mess right in front of them. Oh, wow. Almost had an incident right there. Cryer just getting into the back of the 5 there, off turn 4. Neither car settled onto the straightaway. It's worth mentioning, that front straightaway, you're never really settled on. You're never really straight on it. It is just constantly in a state of turning. Let's see if we can hop in one of these cars. How about we hop in the 53 here and ride around a lap. As you see, here he comes to the start-finish line. You've got the kink at the end of the front straightaway. Off into turn 1. You hear those tires begging to please stop because you're leaning that heavy, heavy street stock on those tires. Off down into turn 3, you have to set in an early apex, roll up as much as you can. You see sparks flying from Rondoletto in front because these cars are bouncing. Now you come off turn 4, you have to adjust your line to the start-finish line, and then you have to duck under the 15.
Battle for 4th heating up here, Jeff Edgar and Jordan Babinger, and a great job by Jeff Edgar. Oh, look at this, Matt Baer, by the way. Just got reports, and he's been having a great race so far. Just disconnected due to incoming packet loss.
Oh, that is heartbreaking.
Sucks. Absolutely. And remember, big battle for 5th right now in the standings. That could definitely help out Jonathan Schwartz get up to 6th in the championship.
Now, Matt Baer, I believe, led 1 lap earlier in the race, so that he'll get some bonus points, but Schwartz has been up there leading a lot of laps, although Jonathan Bronson now to the back bumper. And remember, they are several laps apart from their last pit stop, so Schwartz will have to come in sooner. How long is he going to be able to hold Jonathan Bronson on those 10-lap fresh tires behind him, especially knowing Blake Wynn is charging forward?
Wynn is just under a second off as Schwartz goes to the outside. Here we go for the race lead. Jabroni underneath. And I believe he will get it this time by on the 0-1. But Logan Jones pushing his big block teammate. And Schwartz not going to work, though, as Schwartz, that got close. I should say Bronson, we're 3 wide for the lead at the stripe. It is Bronson Schwartz still fighting back on that outside. Look out, Jonesy! Schwartz almost up into the wall, and here comes Wynn.
Blake Wynn loved watching this happen. That just closed that gap all the way up. And now this battle for the lead is going to be 3 cars as Schwartz still fighting back on that high side. And he gets a heck of a run off turn 4 every time.
Oh my goodness. Schwartz may have gotten Bronson at the line. I don't know, though. It was that close. I'm going to take a look and see what timing said. Timing said Schwartz by 2 1/1000ths of a second.
That was a close one. And now Schwartz is going to go back to third as Blake Wynn is going to take second. And here comes Edgar.
It is a huge mess right now as Jeff Edgar looks for third. Jonathan Bronson leads when we come back. Halfway report and a full field rundown. Stay with us. Change for the lead while we were gone. Blake Wynn has gone to the point. Jeff Edgar up to second. And look at this mess for the lead. It is a 4-car battle.
Babinger closed up a little dicey when Blake Wynn was trying to get around Bronson, and now that allowed Babinger to close back up. He is battling side by side with Jeff Edgar now, and Jonathan Schwartz drifts back into 5th place. Tyler McRae quite a ways back from this battle, so at least for the moment about a 5-car battle, and it looks like Jonathan Bronson doesn't appear to be very happy with the way that Blake Wynn got around him, as he is getting right to his back bumper every chance he gets.
Absolutely. We're at the halfway point. Want more Higgins the XCAL Superfan outside of the halfway point. Introducing Higgins the XCAL Spotter Pack with over 500 messages of Higgins that can be used in any iRacing event, and available now. To order your copy, PayPal $20 to president@xcalracing.com with the note hashtag Where's Higgins. The Spotter Pack is rated R in everything the title implies, and use the clues hidden within the Spotter Pack to determine where Higgins was during his absence. First correct submission wins an XCAL Racing t-shirt. As the battle for the lead is on. Doug, let's talk about this. What we got coming up on How to Suck at iRacing?
Tomorrow night, a lot more stuff coming this week. Tomorrow night, the Outlaw Cup Series returns and their limited late model dirt series. And that starts at 7:30 Eastern, and they've just got a few weeks left in their season as well. Thursday night, the American All-Star Dirt Series first recruitment race at 7 Eastern. Saturday night, we'll have Tyler Daniels Racing Memorial Race at 6 Eastern, doing a big event, remembering people they lost over the last year. Sunday morning, for the first time ever, the GT3 Not So Serious League starts at 11:30 Eastern. So some road course racing, and then Sunday night, Outlaw Trucks return at 6:15 Eastern. Monday night, Outlaw Dirt doubleheader, and of course, Tuesdays are for XCAL.
Absolutely. Jeff Edgar, by the way, just came in along with Ryan Seams and Sean Andrews. I believe this is an interesting situation for Jeff Edgar, pitting earlier than usual. I think he was just shorter on field, tried to shortstop that situation, now trying to make it all up with horsepower as those top three are powering under a blanket. Let's see what Edgar can do here when the top three come on in. But meanwhile, Wynn's got some drivers that are trying to drop some bombs on him.
And Schwartz just went to pit road too, so we've seen him be extremely fast. He's going to come back out here and probably get back up here and battle with these guys. And I am looking through the field because there is one driver that we keep seeing up front tonight, just keeps sneaking his way, and I do not see where Leto is at the moment.
Currently in 19th position. While we're at it, by the way, let's do a full field rundown. Doug, we'll have you take 1 through 20.
All right, Blake Wynn up front with Jonathan Bronson right on his back bumper. Jordan Babinger as well. Tyler McRae further back in 4th place, but having a heck of a run after starting in 28th. Mason Foster back in 5th. Luke Turpin in 6th. Greg Holes in 7th. Austin Edwards now up to 8th, fighting his way back towards the front. Kenny Tripp in 9th, and Brett Edgar, the other Edgar, is in 10th. Logan Jones currently running in 11th, with Patrick Sullivan not far behind in 12th. Gregorio Dorso, 13th. 14th is Daniel Miller. Sean Patrick is in 15th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 16th. Joe Campbell currently in 17th. Ron Leto is back up in 18th. Jeremy Leto in 19th. And Jose Godino currently running in 20th.
John Friley, 21st. Trevor Birchmeyer pitting in. Same with John Brancaccio, 22nd and 23rd. Jeff Edgar now up to 23rd, was in 24th. John Schwartz, Derek Colson, Kendrick Cryer, 27th. Robert Colgan, 28th. Ryan Seams, 29th. Matt Bear, 30th. Sean Andrews, 31st. Alex Krapser, 32nd. Art Hendren, 33rd. Rafael Semprich, 34th. Dwayne Robinson, 35th. Aiden McConaughey, 36th. Josh Doobie, 37th. The last 4 drivers are out of the race. And the battle for the lead continuing to shape up here on lap 185. Bronson, the bump draft to Blake Wynn. Oh, he got Wynn loose just for a moment, Doug. That got close. Oh, man, he's all over him.
I don't think that was any accident there. He was pushing him into 1. Even bumped him off of 2 a little bit to get the nose down underneath. These two have been battling hard ever since they got together up there at the front, and I don't think that this is going to let up. Something's going to have to give between these two at some point, but it ain't going to give right now as they're both giving it everything they got. Blake Wynn is not giving an inch because he knows Babinger now underneath for second, and
Thought we were going 3 wide for a moment. Now here goes Babinger inside. Bronson slams the door.
And
Man, this is getting fun.
this is getting fun, but sketchy as well. These guys definitely not giving an inch here tonight.
No doubt about it. And while we are at it, let's look at the championship update between Jordan Babinger and Luke Turpin. 2nd and 6th position. That is a 19-point gain now. Think of that. That's huge now for a guy like Jordan Babinger. Gains 19 points, has the pole, so that's a 24-point gain, and he has led the most laps too. That'd be a 29-point game, so the gap would be cut down to about 4 points at the moment. Tyler McRae, by the way, pitting in this time, and we'll see if the dropping bombs teammates are pitting in. It looks like they are. Let's see here. This is going to get a little bit tight between the top two. Oh, they go separate. Wow, I didn't see that coming.
I think given the way the last few pit stops have gone with them under green flag conditions, probably a wise move to separate for the moment. Blake Wynn was getting a little frustrated with the 08, gave him a little bit of a tap. The 08 being a lap down. Logan Jones in 8th place right now, but he was between Blake Wynn there for a moment. Looked like Blake might have gave him a little tap. Now Babinger comes to pit road. Blake Wynn will assume the lead.
The Blake win goes to the point. We'll update you on who cycles through as the provisional leader. Try and find a good battle on track, and it is for second between Mason Foster and Luke Turpin. Just about 3 to 4 car lengths separate those two.
And Austin Edwards not far behind either. And looking at lap times, looks like Austin Edwards is running equal to or faster than the two cars in front of him, so we might see him gain a little bit before pit stops happen. And he's been out there since lap 153. These other guys pitted 8 laps before him, so he'll come back to the lead after all the pit stops cycle through.
So Blake Wynn continuing to lead. We expect him to pit soon, definitely after when Babinger and Bronson pitted. Bronson pitting out right now. Babinger still in. Again, we'll keep you posted on all of that. That goes down. Luke Turpin currently going by Tyler McRae. Blake Wynn just reporting on Will Petey. He will pit in this time by.
And he will pit in behind as Jonathan Bronson is coming up to speed now and has a lot of traffic right in front of him. Blake Wynn does drop to pit road. Mason Foster should assume the lead. Doesn't look like he is setting up for pit road, and he's got some slower lap traffic right in front of him. This might get sketchy here in just a second.
That's Sean Patrick in the number 22, and we'll let the leader go on by. Same with Luke Turpin. And that is the battle for the race lead. Now, we got to remember on Luke Turpin, as he usually does a lap ahead, but this time Turpin's, look, I think he's going a little bit more here. And he's going for the lead on Mason Foster. I think he's trying to read the strategy of Mason Foster because that's his main target right now on track, I think. Doesn't want to focus on the dropping bombs drivers at the moment. Just wants to focus on his main target. And I believe it's Mason Foster right now.
Yeah, definitely is. And I think he is trying to get that lead under, instead of getting it as Foster comes to pit road. And, yep, Turpin is going to stay out one more lap at least. I kind of expect to see him start to stretch right about now. They've got about 150 laps to go. If he can make it 5 more laps, roughly, then he'll be able to make it on 2 more stops.
Have to see what happens here as Austin Edwards is in second. He normally would be in the lead by now based on how we're seeing cycles today. Kenny Tripp currently in third, and I believe Tripp is coming in this time, or is he going to wait? He's going one more. Luke Turpin just reporting on the Will PD. He is pitting this time.
Really surprised knowing how close this is going to be, but that'll mean after this, he'll still need... Actually, he might actually be able to make it on 2 stops after this one. It'll be really close, but, you know, Luke Turpin, extremely good at saving fuel and making that work. He is stretching it 1 to 2 laps each time. He's going to be right there on the cusp. Austin Edwards will be able to make it on 2 more stops.
Pit window has really been interesting today. You've seen some drivers go 40 laps on fuel, some drivers short pitting. Could we see something possibly, Doug, similar to what we saw at the Daytona Road Course last week with Austin Edwards?
I think we definitely could see something like that here, especially as these, looking at the laps that everybody pitted on, that it's definitely starting to stretch out more and more as you have some guys really stretching their fuel to the limit. Austin Edwards' move early in the race, pitting back in on the last possible lap, as it looks like Daniel Miller just had an issue.
Take a look and see what happened on the replay. And if that does bring out a yellow, he was exiting pit road, and I think just guessed too much on the marbles on the cold tires, and into the nearly the secondary pit road that's on the back straightaway. Uses an access road.
Yeah, he kind of cut it close there, but he managed to save it. He'll get back in the fight. As Austin Edwards is coming up to lap some more cars here, and like we mentioned, the different strategy, he blast pitted on 153. He can go at least 3 more laps, but I believe the last run he did was about 52, 53. So expect him to stay out even longer and continue to stretch this mileage, and he's fast too. It's not as if he's slowing down to save fuel.
Edwards is actually going to pit in this time by looking at the field cycling. Once this is complete, Jonathan Bronson should assume the lead. And how about this? Blake Wynn, 5 seconds behind Jonathan Bronson. So that is not the best pit stop for Blake Wynn. In fact, Jonathan Bronson, 3 seconds faster on pit road. They were even in terms of stop, but I think Blake Wynn is either slow or he went over his pit box and had to back up.
Yeah, something definitely happened there as Blake Wynn now is much, much further behind Bronson than he has been all night. He's got a lot of work to do to catch back up. And we've been green now for, 160 laps now. So definitely he can't count on a caution. He's going to have to keep going full throttle.
Absolutely, and want to give credit as well. Haven't given credit them to a lot today, but we've talked about the drivers a bunch. The big block twisted chassis allies have done a good job so far. Jeff Edgar, Jonathan Schwartz staying consistent. Got to give credit to Logan Jones too. He's been in this battle too. Actually currently in the race lead right now, trying to do a different strategy, hoping for a yellow to come out at the moment because that would definitely change everything.
Yeah, and we talked about it about 100 laps ago that with these weird pit strategies going on right now, a caution comes out, it's going to trap a lot of guys a lap down. If that caution came out right now, Logan Jones would trap most of the field a lap down.
Oh, we nearly saw it, by the way, as I believe it was Patrick Sullivan nearly got together with Ryan Seams. They're not even battling for a position. Ryan Seams currently back in 26th. Sullivan's in 16th.
Patrick Sullivan, another one that's been up in the battle as we watch them still side by side. And Ryan Seams looks like he's going to wisely back out of it here off of turn number 2. But now, is he going to fight back? It doesn't make a lot of sense for him to be fighting him right now. But
he's not really allowed to per XCAL rules because he is currently, because Sullivan's currently 16th. He has to let him go by.
Interesting play there that almost brought that caution. Logan Jones is just hoping something goes wrong and it doesn't involve him. But again, Logan Jones taps the wall coming off turn 2 just a little bit. Gets back up, gets his momentum back up, but he did scrape the wall just a hair there.
Doesn't time, and he says he's going to pit this time. Only 2 drivers have yet to pit, that being Logan Jones and Octavio Rondoletto.
And Rondoletto in a mess, almost 3 wide, with, I believe it's Matt Bear up on the high side.
Trevor Birchmeyer behind the 77. And we're waiting for him to come on in. Let's try and find the best battle on track, and it's with Jeff Edgar, Blake Wynn, and John Schwartz. That's currently a battle for 5th, but provisionally it's for 3rd.
And looking for really Blake Wynn to come back by. Once he gets some heat in those tires, he's definitely been one of the fastest cars out there tonight. But don't forget, Jonathan Schwartz is, we're in the second half of the race. This is Schwartz territory.
Gotta tell you something as well. A driver who I don't think really had a good stop at all that time was Luke Turpin in the 454. Provisionally, he would be in 9th position. Jordan Babinger's 2nd if we calculate that. 170 to 139. I'm going to pull up the calculator here on my phone. That would be down to 31. And Babinger, I believe, has led the most laps. Remember, he started on pole. Babinger would have the points lead at the moment once the field cycles through for pit stops. So if Luke Turpin wants to keep that points lead, he's got to find something to turn around. He probably is going to need a yellow, but he's going to have a change of strategy likely.
Yeah, something has to change there. There's just too much time between Babinger and Turpin right now. 11 seconds Babinger is ahead of Turpin, and all those positions, plus the laps he's led, definitely
Someone's
paying off.
blown up. Somebody blew up in front of Luke Turpin. I saw some smoke. I'm not sure who it was. Maybe Sean Patrick. I don't know. It wasn't Logan Jones. I'm just looking through and seeing who pitted and who came out. I'm
Sean
not
Patrick's
too sure.
still on track. Sean Andrews.
It was Sean Andrews who blew up.
I think so. He's the only
Nope.
car that has come to pit road, so I think it was him. Rondoletto's coming back out.
It wasn't Sean Andrews. He's been on pit road for over 10 minutes. I think Rondoletto locked up the brakes. I'm not too sure in that regards. So Jonathan Bronson now leads. He's got over a second lead on Jordan Babinger. Best battle on track. It's for third. Blake Wynn inside on Jeff Edgar. He's got it.
Not just yet, Jeff Edgar saying. Jeff
Hey, look at
definitely
his stripe.
definitely fighting back on the outside.
It was actually Wynn by a thousandth of a second.
And we're seeing just, despite the fact that the field is getting spread out, we're seeing some really close battles out there. And of course, Jonathan Schwartz is right behind these two. And he's probably sitting there just thinking, you guys race side by side, burn your tires up, and it'll just benefit me. He is up in the top 5 now. Tonight might be his night.
You've got Robert Colgan up there, a teammate of Jeff Edgar, ally for John Schwartz. Colgan currently running in, I'm trying to find him on my stat sheet, currently in 29th position. And Schwartz lets him go by. And man, this has been a good side-by-side battle here. It's been side-by-side for like, what, 3 laps or something? And Wynn gets Edgar at the line, and I would like to see the gap on this one again. This time by 100th.
Well, they're getting spread out a little more. It was a few thousandths last time. It's 100th this time. Who knows? This is just crazy. We're seeing so many of these side-by-side battles at a point that these guys are all on different strategies to a degree, and they're still battling like it's the last lap.
This time it was 200ths, just about 200ths of a second. But this has been this is a good battle. Best battle I think we've seen all day for a spot outside of the race lead. That's been side-by-side racing.
And here's another interesting point. Blake Wynn has 16-lap fresher tires. So Jeff Edgar is doing something to make those old tires work. He has been extremely good on the long runs all night. And Blake Wynn definitely fast all the time, but it seems like once those tires get broke in, Edgar just seems to be a lot faster, especially coming off the turns.
Edgar's doing a good job fighting back. I think what Jeff is trying to do, because he's pitted on a shorter situation, I think this could be a long-term strategy if we don't get a yellow flag to come out, possibly trying to get it on the window and then be good to go to the end.
Not only that, Blake Wynn is having to pinch that car down, use up more tires, and Edgar's got a little more room to roll around the turn. So he's definitely forcing his opponent there to burn his stuff up, use his stuff up. He's using his stuff up too, but it won't be to the same extent. And even though he's on older stuff, he is making this work.
Wynn still edging Edgar out the line for these past few laps, though. And Wynn may clear Edgar this time. Let's see what happens here. Edgar gets the advantage on the exit. Wynn gets the advantage on the entry in the center.
And that time it looked like, oh, nope, Blake Wynn did get further into 3. It looked like Edgar just kind of sent it in there. And they're going to come up on a lap car in a moment. That could be problematic for this battle as they touch doors.
Oh, boy, hang on a second. Patrick Sullivan loose off turn 4. Makes a nice save. That got very close. His car's been really loose in these past, 20 to 30 laps or so.
He's loose through 1 and 2. He's loose off 2.
My goodness, I don't know how he's saving it. He is an accident waiting to happen.
He's been on those tires for 35 laps. He has obviously pushed a little too hard and burned him up.
One of the first few that comes in on these long-term runs, and Blake Wynn, by the way, has cleared Robert Colgan for the third position. Now cleared Jeff Edgar for the third position. Now Edgar falls back to John Schwartz, but I don't think the two are going to race each other. I don't even think they're going to race each other at all. They're just going to stay together.
Yeah, Jonathan Schwartz, definitely one of the most patient drivers out there, and that's how he always works his way to the lead.
We have to go back to the replay. We missed this just about maybe a minute ago. Look at this. Bronson got tight in lap traffic on lap 217. Opened the door for Jordan Babinger. Bronson simply just stuck behind lap traffic, and Jordan Babinger is the race leader. We apologize we missed that. We would just focus on that battle for third and stuff on back. So those two are back to working together on lap 220. We're going to take another commercial break. Babinger and Bronson, 1 and 2 right now. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina. It's the Scum Blaster 350 on How to Suck at iRacing. I'm Marty Sakala with Doug Burns producing and in the color commentator box. Jordan Babinger, right now your provisional points leader, leading Jonathan Bronson by just about a car length to the start-finish line. Working on lap 227. So we just got under 125 laps to go. The lap 200 range is brought to you by K2 Sauce. The official sauce of XCAL Racing is an everything sauce. Barbecue sauce, steak sauce, ketchup, and more all in one. The only sauce you'll ever need, also available in hot and coming soon, Southern style. And I'll say this is the catchphrase I have for K2 Sauce, the best damn sauce anyone has made.
And look and see what the track temperature is at the moment, Marty, because I'm starting to see a lot more cars. Kenny Tripp was slipping and sliding just a lap ago. The 15 started slipping and sliding. That Kendrick Cryer was sliding around for a couple of laps there. And a lot more guys really starting to slip. I'm betting that the track temperature has come up during the race.
So the track has cooled down to 88 degrees. The track time is just before 6 p.m., so keep that in mind as well as Babinger and Bronson remain 1 and 2. A couple of drivers, by the way, in pit row. Jeff Edgar, Ryan Seams, Trevor Birchmeyer all in pit road. And again, we are watching the battle in the points race between Jordan Babinger and Luke Turpin. Babinger would currently be your provisional points lead, and this is a huge race for him, but he just opened the door for Jabroni, his teammate, but Bronson tucks back in line.
Yeah, and I am really surprised how hard these two are racing each other, at least this early in the race. You'd expect it the last 50 or so laps, but we've still got 120 laps to go, and these two are battling, giving no quarter whatsoever, and they have had a few close calls when they're trying to get around them. Like right there when Jonathan Bronson tapped his teammate, had to check up, the 12 car was right there as well, almost had a big one.
Absolutely, that was close for Babinger, as luckily he still remains in the race lead. Let's go back to some other battles right now. How about this battle? This is a good race going on for 4th position. Mason Foster. How about Tyler McRae? We haven't talked about him that much today. Running in 5th, Greg Holes, Luke Turpin, and is Austin Evers in this battle too? Yes, so from 3 to 8th. Or from 4 to 8, excuse me.
Yeah, and they're just staying single file, at least for the last little bit. A long way to go. Looks like everybody has just settled in for that long run. It's been green since lap 45. So these guys are just playing it safe for the moment. I have not seen anybody make a huge challenge in this group for a while. With Mason Foster up there, he's had a fast race car. These guys just trying to follow him around and stay with him for the moment. And you mentioned Tyler McRae. He was way in the back earlier on. He had worked his way up inside the top 10, but after the cautions, he was way back in the later 20s. But now he's worked his way back up into the top 5.
Up 23 spots, started from 28th position. Let's look at the biggest movers of the race so far. Jonathan Bronson has the biggest move. It's the biggest mover right now. Up 28 spots to 2nd position. So he's looking for those 5 bonus points, as we got a couple of drivers. One driver now in pit road. That is Sean Patrick. Take this opportunity to do a full field rundown on lap 235. Jordan Babinger, the leader. Jonathan Bronson, 2nd. Blake Wynn, 3rd. Mason Foster, 4th. Tyler McRae, 5th. Greg Holes, 6th. Luke Turpin, 7th. Austin Edwards, 8th. Kenny Tripp, 9th. Logan Jones is 10th. Brett Edgar pitting in 11th. Gregorio Dorso, 12th. Octavio Rondeletto, 13th. Jared Poole, 14th. Joe Campbell, 15th. Daniel Miller, 16th. John Friley, 17th. Jose Gaudino, 18th. Jeremy Leto, 19th. Sean Patrick is 20th. Doug?
21st is going to be Jonathan Schwartz after his pit stop. Jeff Edgar in 22nd. Kendrick Cryer, 23rd. Derek Olson in 24th. Patrick Sullivan in 25th. 26th is Robert Colgan. Ryan Seams is 27th. Trevor Birchmere is 28th. John Brancaccio is 29th. Matt Bear currently in 30th. Alex Crapser in 31st. 32nd is Art Hendren. Sean Andrews on pit road in 33rd. And then the rest of the field, Raphael Simpruch, Dwayne Robertson, Aiden McConaughey, and Josh Doobie.
DBR teammates of Babinger and Bronson came in. Bronson had a close call, knocking into Babinger, but locked the brakes up. I'm going to watch this closely. You can keep it on, Doug. You don't have to go to a replay. But, oh, man, Bronson may get busted here for speeding on pit road. He was over the speed limit entering, and he may get a pass through here. We'll have to see, but this is not what Jabroni wants.
And another interesting thing happening on track, the 81, that is Blake Wynn in the lead at the moment, and the 7 car right behind him, that is Robert Colgan off of turn 4 last time, off turn 2 last time. Robert Colgan was right on the back bumper, actually bumped him a few times down the back straightaway, and Robert currently a lap down. However, with pit cycles, he may end up back on the lead lap. Time will tell, but it's definitely interesting to see that lap car battling like that.
Absolutely. Not sure what Colgan's thinking. Let's try and find the battle for second here with Foster and Turpin. Remember, this is always a battle you got to watch closely when pit stops come for both of the two, and he's letting off. I'm going to listen here closely, see if he is saving some fuel, trying to stretch it out.
I just about guarantee you it's Luke Turpin. He's fast without having to do too much to save fuel. You could let off a little bit earlier into the corners, get back on it. If you eggshell the gas pedal down, getting back on it just a little bit, you can save a ton of fuel, especially on these runs where he's stretching it already a couple of laps further than everybody else.
So Turpin's not pushing the clutch in at all right now. Something interesting, you got to watch this closely on the pit exit. In turn number 2, there are some marbles if you're on the extreme bow just before the apron as Blake Wynn comes down pit road.
That'll put Foster in the lead. We'll swap over and watch, see if we can watch Blake Wynn as once his pit stop completes. We'll try and take a better look at him and show the marbles there. Meanwhile, Foster to the lead, Turpin to second, Austin Edwards back up into third now.
And Edwards, remember, he's been on that different strategy since the long run, but may be affected just a little bit as we continue to watch the battle for the lead between Foster and Turpin. Two drivers are between them. Now it's one. Daniel Miller lets Turpin go by. It's Jeff Edgar, who is on fresher tires.
And looks like Blake Wynn is about completed with his pit stop. Should be rolling just any second now. He's got all 4 tires on. Just waiting to see. You can see there on the apron all the marbles. How much there is there, even just looking outside the pit wall. It's a bit much, and these guys definitely have a hard time getting off pit road, especially on cold tires here.
Here comes Foster to the bottom looking on Edgar as Turpin has definitely closed the gap. Foster's actually coming down pit road. Luke Turpin gets the lead back.
And last time Luke Turpin pitted at lap 200 on the nose. I think that was a strategy move because he could have gone at least 5 more laps. So we'll have to see. Does he stop on lap 250 on the nose? Does he extend it? What's his strategy from here?
The final window will open just around lap 310 if the drivers are going just about 40 laps on a fuel run on this long run.
A lot of these guys are actually extending to 50, and guys like Turpin, Edwards, and a few others have been even beyond the 50 mark, but most of these guys are pitting between 45 and 50 laps. So this could be the second to last stop for some. For some, they're going to have to do one more stop. And I think that's what Luke Turpin and Austin Edwards are doing right now. They are stretching that as far as they possibly can, leading to that last stop so that they can get that advantage of not having to make that last stop. But then again, as we've mentioned, that the long green flag run here stretched everything out, cars all over the place, and one caution could change everything.
Absolutely, and we're getting some. Looks like no speeding penalty for Jabroni, as we have seen he is out in front of Jordan Babinger right now. Oh, that was close. I thought he was going to come in for a moment for what could have been a pass through, but no. Bronson is staying as provisionally the race leader over Jordan Babinger. It was a very close call for Jabroni as he gets loose off of turn 2 once again. That's been the tight spot where you just have to be really careful. So no issues for Jonathan Bronson. He's in the lead provisionally.
And it is worth noting that while we haven't seen him lead any laps in a while, Jeremy Leto still up in 26 and still having a great run here tonight. He'll pick up some more spots before the night's out. Luke Turpin is on pit road now. Austin Edwards assuming the lead.
2 drivers have yet to pit, and soon to be 1. Kenny Tripp about to come down pit road and give up the second position. Actually, correction, make that now 2 drivers that have yet to pit. Logan Jones. Actually, yes, Logan Jones and Octavio Rondeletto. So after Edwards, 2 drivers have yet to pit.
And okay, so Austin's been out there right at 50 laps now, and we know he can stretch it. So from here, it's one more stop. He'll have to make this stop anytime now. One more stop after this. We're going to have some drivers that have to make 2 stops from here, and that could make things really interesting, especially at the end of the race. If this thing continues to stay green, I mean, we've had some really close calls out there. These guys have managed to keep the cars straight since lap 45. It's kind of crazy that the run has been this long, especially considering some of the door banging we've seen.
And with 99 laps to go, Austin Edwards will pit this time by. So a couple drivers' windows for their final stop could open earlier than lap 310. Lap 300 could be the situation we're looking at for a guy like Austin Edwards to make it to the end. We'll see what happens. Hits it at 40 miles an hour. And Logan Jones should assume the lead here in just a little bit unless he comes in this time by. Octavia Rondeletto 5 seconds back on him. The gap between Bronson and Wynn, listen to this. And Wynn would provisionally be in third, 13 seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely stretched out a bit after Blake Wynn having one heck of a run and being up there battling those guys. But he's run them down from as much as 4 seconds back, but I don't know if he can make up a full 13 seconds right now. We'll see. He's got a lot of traffic to work through and a lot of traffic right on his back bumper at the moment.
Let's update you on Luke Turpin. Provisionally, he would be in the 7th position. So going to take a look at this once again. 170 minus 147 is a 23-point gain. Add the 5 bonus points for the pole for Babinger. Cut it down to 5 points. And right now, Babinger and Lee having led the most laps. It would be tied, adding on, and it wouldn't even include the laps led because Babinger and Turpin have each led laps today. And the fastest lap does not belong to either. You know what? The fastest lap of the race may actually belong to Luke Turpin. And it does. 26.84 by 200ths of a second. So right now, or excuse me, that's the previous fastest lap. Excuse me there, I got confused there for a moment. Fastest lap actually
Jonathan
does
Bronson.
not belong. I'm looking at Bronson, yeah, 26.64. So right now I have the points tied.
And we knew a couple of weeks ago it would get close. We kind of expected Daytona Road to be the great equalizer and see who would come out on top. But after Daytona Road, the points just got closer. So things are going to get really, really exciting with the last few races here, especially as close as they are running tonight, unless something drastic changes here, which with just under 100 laps, anything could happen on this 1 mile track. But it would be kind of cool to come out of tonight with the points tied.
We learned it as well the last time we were at Rockingham of this situation. Bronson actually increasing the lead to a half second on Jordan Babinger as Bronson's working better on lap traffic compared to the 48. Thanos Poole and Rondeletto stuck between your top 2 DBR drivers. Rondeletto, by the way, currently in the race lead. He has yet to pit. He's between Bronson and Babinger. He is currently on also what is a 50-lap run. So
he comes to pit road.
I would watch this closely too as he gets a little bit loose in the marbles. Watch him closely when the end of the race comes because he's got one more stop left. He could possibly be in a situation where he could be in a front-running position at the end.
He can also
Yeah, go ahead.
He's also pitting this much later. These guys that are able to pit this much later, the guys that have extended it, they won't have to take as much fuel on that last stop, so they'll be a little bit lighter and a little bit faster.
Let's go to 6th place. Mason Foster, Jeff Edgar battling for that position.
This has been an ongoing battle with these two, just missing 1 or 2 drivers, but we've seen these two close together most of the night. Jeff Edgar definitely having a great run here tonight as he looks down to the inside of Mason Foster, drifted up. All
Mason Foster saying on the wheel, PD a little close there, trying to send it in, and props to his teammate Robert Colgan laying on back, but that got oh so close to being possibly a yellow flag.
Yeah, it did. And right behind him, they actually gave Luke Turpin and Austin Edwards, since both drivers had to back out of it a little bit. Those two actually closed that gap, but they still have a lap car between them and Jeff Edgar and Mason Foster. That could get a little interesting as well. But Luke Turpin and Austin Edwards both extremely fast and on a much longer run. So strategy and speed may win the day for these two.
Absolutely, and the point, like I said, the point standings are going to be very tight if Babinger and Turpin finish where they belong, or maybe even something similar. As we're working on lap 262 right now for the race leaders. Continue to watch. Edgar has made his way back up to Mason Foster.
And he's going to look to the outside. And another shout out. So far, the biggest mover of the night is the 01 of Jonathan Schwartz. And honestly, raise your hand if you're not surprised by that one at all. Jonathan Schwartz definitely knows how to work through the traffic and get his way to the front. Jeff Edgar just not pushing the issue too terribly hard now. Oh, I spoke too soon.
Yeah, he's pushing it. He wants fifth badly on Mason Foster. Edgar, this has been his best car this season, without a doubt. He's got to run to the inside on Foster for P5.
Now the question is, can he hold it down? Yes, he does. Caution!
No! Art Hendren has crashed, and that is not what Jordan Babinger or Jonathan Bronson wanted. Heavy damage to Art Hendren, and this is going to change everything in terms of pit strategy. Hendren pretty much got tight off of 2 and pounded the wall. Got Logan Jones and Kenny Tripp, and that's what brings out the caution flag.
Holy cow, he hit that wall so hard that the car jumped in the air. Yeah, his entire back end was in the air, and while this is a 1 mile track, it's not that wide. We've seen him 3 wide and how dicey it gets. That was a hard hit. And
it's going to be interesting to see who comes in and who stays out. The top 2 come in. Blake wins in turn 3. Let's see if he comes down pit road this time, and he will come in. John Schwartz pits.
I think we see everybody
Edgar
pit here.
Is going to pit. Austin Edwards isn't. Luke Turpin's going to stay out. Oh, boy.
I'm not sure about that.
Even Mason Foster. Foster and Turpin stayed out.
I am not sure about that strategy because they've been out there for 15 to 20 laps each. Unless they come back down this time, they're just going to get smoked by fresh tires. And, you know, this definitely hurts Octavio Rondoletto and a few other guys, but it definitely benefits guys like Greg Holes, Kenny Tripp.
Wait, I'm not sure about that because we still have the waves, and we'll figure that out in just a little bit here, Doug. Rondoletto currently the second car lap down in 15th, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Mason Foster, Luke Turpin, day out. And now they're going to come in this time to top off. We'll be back. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back to Rockingham Speedway. When we left for the break, we were wondering what would happen with Octavio Rondeletto because we saw he was the second car lap down. He got the wave. However, though, I have on scoring that he will be one lap down. So if he wants to get back in this race, he will need another yellow. We got some checking up, by the way, here. Luke Turpin. Tyler McRae checked up Luke Turpin. John Friley. Is that John? Excuse me, no, Jeff Edgar, I think it is. Nope, that was John Friley and also Kendrick Cryer. Now, this is known for Tyler McRae for him doing this in the past. He's not signing up there.
And you got to wonder if the admins are watching closely, if they're about to pull something. The lights are still on the pace car.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that because keep in mind, he is under penalty. He did receive a strike coming in because of something that happened last week with Matt Bear. We mentioned that controversy earlier on. I think if you're a regular XCAL viewer, you know what happened. So we should be getting 1 to green this time, and the first 4 rows will all restart together. The top 8 will all restart together. Now, you got to think, with that yellow, what's the mindset like if you're Jordan Babinger and Luke Turpin? Puts Luke Turpin back in the race at the same time. Babinger didn't want to see it.
No, they were completely off cycle from each other. We kept talking about how many guys it would trap a lap down. Now, just 10 cars on the lead lap, but all 10 of them have been fast and been up front battling tonight. So it could make things really, really interesting. And these two guys definitely did not want to see this. But Austin Edwards, we talked about it during the break about him coming in. It's not what he wanted to see, but it might actually be. It puts him in 3rd place, puts him with those 2 lead cars, everybody back on the same cycle.
Want to mention as well, we are taking you commercial free to the finish. Let's reset the field. Jonathan Bronson, Jordan Babinger, row 1. Austin Edwards, Blake Wynn, row 2. Mason Foster, Tyler McRae, row 3. John Schwartz, Luke Turpin, row 4. They check up behind them. This is going to get interesting with Tyler McRae once again, I believe. So we get ready to go back to the green flag. They stack them up once again. Bronson fires a huge accordion effect amongst the drivers that were double firing. We're back to green. Let's see if race control gives a penalty out.
Saw one car, couldn't tell who it was, but there was one car that got checked up so bad he had to go to the apron. Meanwhile, the front 3 have gone single file away from the pack, and it's 2 wide back there with Mason Foster and Blake Wynn. Off turn.
Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, off turn 4, Mason Foster. Now he gets clear of Blake Wynn and sets his sights on Austin Edwards. This will be an interesting battle.
Here's what I'm thinking right now. If you're Jordan Babinger, there's race control says the restart is under review. If you're Jordan Babinger, you want this win. Because if Luke Turpin stays in 7th spot for the end of the race and Babinger wins, Babinger would have the points lead. If not, it's tied.
Now here comes the question. Does their car owner come down?
Look at Foster. Sorry there, Doug. Foster inside for 3rd.
And Austin Edwards just going to let him go, slide back down into 4th. Austin Edwards has a plan here, especially with that little bump draft into 3. Definitely has a plan here with that extra pit stop, knowing everybody's back on that same pit cycle. I'm betting he's just taking it easy this first 10 laps, let everybody burn their stuff up, and then come to the front. Could tonight be the night Austin Edwards breaks the record?
Just an update from race control. No action will be taken on this restart. Nobody's fault. Nobody gained a penalty. Luke Turpin thought about looking inside on John Schwartz for 6th position. He wants to retain control of that points lead.
Yeah, and I expect to see him kind of crank it up. We know around lap 300, the pit window will open for everybody at this point. Everybody could make it from there, but with a pit stop at lap 267, 268, some of these guys will be able to go further. Nobody can make it to the end from here.
Lily, the one guy that really wants a yellow big time, actually three guys that want a yellow big time. Octavio Rondeletto, Derek Colson, Brett Edgar are the first three drivers that are a lap down. And if they get back on the lead lap, oh boy,
Yeah,
especially Octavio.
yeah, I was gonna say if Octavio gets back to the lead lap, these guys up front might want to get a little bit worried. Rondeletto has had a consistently fast race car tonight. He is not that far off of the fastest laps out there, and it's Octavio. He doesn't push it until the last 100 laps. I'd fully expect to see a faster lap out of Rondeletto at some point in the near future.
Ooh, man, Edwards just got loose in the center of 1 and 2 and nearly got turned from Blake Wynn. And I gotta give a shout out too here, Doug, to the top two right now, Bronson and Babinger. They are doing something that nobody else behind them is doing. That's bump drafting in the straights.
Yeah, teammates can pull that one off, and it seems to be working. They keep opening up a small gap on Mason Foster. If they can keep doing that, making it work, they could actually build up a gap that if it stays green, nobody will be able to catch them.
This is your best battle on track as the front eight, the front eight are currently nose to tail. For those wondering where 9th and 10th and Greg Holes are, Holes is 9th, Jeff Edgar is 10th behind Holes. They were started way behind the other drivers, and they got some ground to make up. Currently 8 seconds behind the race leader, and Jeff Edgar is in a huge mess of cars with Derek Colson, Gerald Puo, Kenny Tripp, and I believe that's Brett Edgar in the 53 it is.
And all these guys are still battling for position back there. You're talking about 17th, 18th, 16th, just a bunch of cars right there battling for position. And Jeff Edgar in the top 10 just trying to survive this battle right now.
Willie, that is, oh boy, nearly a father-son moment as the father, Jeff, nearly got up into Brett. They both are related too in the same family.
Yeah, you got to wonder, come on, Dad, why are you wrecking me on track? You got to wonder how often that kind of thing comes up.
You know what? As Jeff's watching this and he hears this, he's probably thinking, screw you, Marty, but there's something else to it.
I'm sure. You know what's funny is when my daughter races.
Sorry. Go ahead. We have a battle for a second, though.
When my daughter is racing, if I talk to her at all, she gets annoyed. So you never know how that those things work out. As we do, as Mason Foster on the bottom, trying to take second to see if he can run down the leader. Jordan Babinger still fighting on the high side.
Absolutely not what Babinger wants if Foster's on the bottom, because the low line is preferred. Bronson's opened up a lead on the battle for second. Foster is up there. He's got the pass. He gets second over Babinger right now. Here comes Austin Edwards. It is a big horse race right now for second spot. But look at Babinger. Throttle his way on the outside. Does he have him clear yet? Nope. Foster's still at his door.
I gotta wonder. Babinger sends it in. He gets loose, but he holds it. He is gonna get back to second.
And now look at Edwards. He wants the inside. Pulls up to Mason Foster's door.
Austin Edwards has been off cycle from these guys most of the night due to his tire strategy and fuel strategy. He's now back on the same cycle. Equal tires, equal fuel, equal everything. And he has had a fast race car tonight. We'll see if he can get clear of Mason Foster. Can he run down the two lead cars?
Off of 4, Blake Wynn now into this battle as well for the final podium spot. Edwards inside on Foster. Foster almost sent it in like what Babinger did about a lap or two ago. And Edwards has third for right now by about a bumper. Foster still has the momentum with the banking off of turn number 2. And Edwards just a little bit tight there in 3 and 4. You saw it there, Doug.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, earlier in the race, Foster ran Edwards up the track, and now Austin Edwards gets a little help off into turn 1, and Mason ran Austin Edwards up the track earlier tonight. Now, is the favor going to be repaid if Austin can't clear him here in just a moment?
We'll see what happens, but now Babinger, look at this. He's pulled back up even with Jonathan Bronson. The teammates, 1-2. And now just about a car length off from each other for the race lead. But the mess is still on for P3. Look at Luke Turpin as well. He wants 6 from JB Smooth, Jonathan Schwartz.
Yeah, this is getting crazy as Austin Edwards is starting to edge ahead for third here. And if he's getting some help from Blake Wynn. If Blake Wynn can get a nose underneath. Oh, there's a little bump.
That's contact from Edwards and Foster there. Edwards washed the track up. He clears Foster for third. Here comes Wynn for fourth.
And I think Wynn's going to have it here. Wynn and Foster battling all night. Wynn has consistently been just a hair faster. And I'm thinking that Austin Edwards probably going to give Wynn a little... Oh, Foster giving Edwards a little push into 3.
We've got a car blinking, by the way, behind Luke Turpin. I think it's Kendrick Cryer in the 15. I'm not sure, though. Remember, Kendrick Cryer is currently in the 24th position. So it's not a factor right now. Let's go back up and see how the lead's looking for Bronson. Just about 3 car lengths on Jonathan Bronson. As now it's single file, and Luke Turpin takes 6th away from John Schwartz. That is huge for the 454. Superman, now your provisional points leader.
But by just a couple of points. And now it's come down to a situation where every position is just a couple of points here and there, but it's going to end up making a huge difference later in the season. Although, has to say, I'm really hoping we come out of this one with a tie. I would love to see that season play out in the next 5 races.
Absolutely. When we come to the final race and it's down to those two, Doug, I'm going to tell you this right now because you use the same broadcast software as I do, SDK Gaming. Tell them to get their cameras set up. I want to see some onboards with them, as that's a spectacular feature in SDK Gaming. You can get in-car cameras with the real people, and that would be awesome to get their perspectives inside the car. 3 through 8, nose to tail right now. Kendrick Cryer, Robert Colgan behind them. Again, that remains the best battle on track. There's also a good battle happening for 12th as well with Derek Colson and Brett Edgar.
Yeah, Jeff Edgar finally got away from this battle, so no more of that mess. But definitely Derek Colson having a great run here tonight. He has had some bad luck the last few weeks, and it was, I think, 2 weeks ago that literally anything that happened on track, Derek Colson got caught in. Tonight, that's not the case. He has fought back tonight. He is having a amazing run here. He's been in the top 10 as high as in the top 5.
Blake Wynn got loose in turn 2 and makes contact with Foster. This is going to get insane. 3 wide down the back chute in the Thunder Alley.
Turpin on the bottom, into 1. They stay 3 wide. Blake Wynn backing out of it. And off of turn 4, Luke Turpin's going to move forward as Austin Edwards has broken away from this field. Mason Foster still fighting back on the high side.
My goodness, that was close to being disaster and not what you wanted if you're Jordan Babinger. Turpin making some moves. He wants 4th from Mason Foster, leaning on another into turn 3.
Blake Wynn dropping to the bottom. He's going to give Luke Turpin a little bit of help here, and a lot of cars down there. No, Blake Wynn coming up to the high side. He's going to help Mason Foster. We saw Blake Wynn bump drafting with Austin Edwards just a little bit ago. Helped him get to the front. Now he's not helping Turpin. He's helping Foster.
Side by side into turn number 3. Look at Blake Wynn trying to force his way in front of Tyler McRae, who's currently in the 7th position. And Turpin is up to 4th. Foster 5th. Wynn gives Superman the push down into 1.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much longer this can play out. Remember, they pitted 30 laps ago. These tires are starting to wear. These cars are going to start sliding around. The drivers are not going to be able to push as hard as they can. Now it is Turpin gets the advantage. Blake Wynn is going to slip by Mason Foster off turn 4.
That got close between Wynn and Foster. Nearly cleared him, and Foster nearly bumped him.
That did get really close. You got to imagine Foster's getting a little frustrated. Since this last restart, he has lost a lot of ground after moving his way all the way up to 2nd.
Let me tell you something. Your top two are missing a classic for P4 on the track, and they are back to being nose to tail with Turpin the head of the train. Robert Colgan is the caboose. Remember, Colgan and Cryer not on the lead lap. Colgan currently 25th and Cryer 23rd. Why don't we take this opportunity to give you a full field rundown? Doug, 1 through 20 is all yours.
Jonathan Bronson still up front. Jordan Babinger in second. Austin Edwards running them down in third. Luke Turpin now to fourth with Blake Wynn in fifth. Mason Foster currently running in sixth. Tyler McRae having a great run here tonight in seventh. Jonathan Schwartz up to eighth. Jeff Edgar ninth, and Octavio Rondoletto in 10th. Derek Colson 11th. Brett Edgar is in 12th. Joe Campbell in 13th. Patrick Sullivan in 14th. 15th is Daniel Miller. Gerald Thanos Poole currently in 16th. Sean Patrick in 17th. Jeremy Leto in 18th. John Friley is 19th. And Kenny Tripp in 20th.
Jose Gaudino 21st, Greg Holst 22nd, Kendrick Cryer 23rd, Gregorio Dorso 24th, Robert Colgan 25th, Trevor Birchmeyer 26th, John Brancaccio 27th, Matt Bear is 28th, and 29th is Alex Krapser. Those are the only cars that are on track. Out of the race right now, Ryan Seams, Logan Jones, Art Hendren, Sean Andrews, Rafael Semprich, Drain Robertson, Aiden McConaughey, and Josh Dubing. As I say that, Logan Jones is exiting pit road.
And now they're lap 300. They have hit the pit window. Everybody, or most of these guys can pit from here. In the next 5 laps, everybody will be able to pit and go the distance. Austin Edwards had broken away while Luke Turpin and Blake Wynn and Mason Foster were battling. Now Luke Turpin is back to the back bumper of Austin Edwards here, and he is pushing, literally pushing Austin down the front straightaway.
And that's because Luke Turpin and the company had the draft more speed. Austin Edwards didn't have a slipstream he could do. He was by himself without a dance partner behind him. And Turpin, my goodness, any more pushing further than that, Turpin was turning Edwards around. That got very close. Window is open. I don't see a lot of drivers coming in right now. First driver I saw come in was Jeremy Leto, but amongst the lead drivers, I don't see anyone pitting at the moment.
Nope, and I suspect some guys are going to stop here in about 3 laps and see if they can make something happen from there with those fresher tires versus some of these guys. They're going to go to lap roughly 320 is about the furthest anybody's going to be able to go. So the next 15 laps could decide the race.
Absolutely. Money stop on lap 320 for a lot of drivers should they go to the max on their window. John Schwartz saying someone to just go by the inside, that being Kendrick Cryer, and here we go for third. Turpin pulls out, goes inside on Edwards. Here we go, final podium spot. Turpin takes third away.
Blake Wynn underneath, he's going to take fourth, and Mason Foster staying right on Blake Wynn's back bumper. He might try and take that position away from Austin Edwards as well. Austin Edwards will have to slot in right behind him if he can get down in front of McRae, but McRae trying to run up underneath.
And Turpin is pulling away. This is huge for the 454. He is currently gaining points back that he missed earlier on in the race. The gap right now from second to third in points, as we're going to take a look at this right now, is currently 5 points Babinger would gain in the race. Bonus points wise, the pole Babinger got cuts down 5 points, so that means it would be down to 23. I believe Babinger has led the most laps. If it were, be cut down to 18 points. And right now, Turpin would be up by still in the double digits.
I think actually at this point Bronson has led the most laps, so that'll give him that advantage. But you have to wonder if it comes down to it, you know these guys are thinking about points. Does Bronson pull over on the last lap and let Babinger by and get the win? But the other question that comes up here too, as they continue to run nose to tail, they've got that 4.5 second lead from Babinger back to Turpin right now. And they are continuing to extend that lead, but every time Babinger and Bronson have tried to pit together, it has almost ended in carnage. Will these guys try and pit together and keep their draft advantage, or will they pit separately again?
You know, this is an interesting thing because, I mean, this is an if situation. It's not a when situation, but if the two drivers here, Brunson and Baminger, are battling for this win when we come to the final lap, or even the final 5 laps because there will be no yellows, and that's when you have no holds barred racing going on. If you're in Jonathan, I'm glad we're not in Jonathan Brunson's shoes or his seat right now because Jonathan Brunson's got something on his mind. Does he be a good friend and help Jordan Baminger win this race to help the point situation? Or does Bronson want the win?
I would be having contract negotiations right about now with my teammate. So if I let you win this one and help you get those points, you're going to split the prize money, right?
Oh, hang on here. Hang on here. Bronson loose off of 2.
Yeah, he did get a little loose. Actually, he got a little loose on entry into 1. Managed to keep it together, and Babinger backing off just a hair here. Meanwhile, Luke Turpin has closed that gap down to just over 4 seconds. He's about to catch some lap cars like Jeremy Leto, who just came off pit road, and he'll have some drafting help, more drafting help than the 2 leaders do.
And he's got Greg Holes, Gregorio Dorso right now that Turpin has to deal with. It will be interesting for the drivers behind him, like Blake Wynn, Mason Foster, Austin Edwards, and Tyler McRae. Leto will let them go by, but now, and same thing with Greg Holes. I'm interested in what's going to happen here if you're Gregorio Dorso, because let's keep this in mind as well. McRae versus the old Razor drivers. Oh, hang on a second. We're hearing through Will Petey, Blake Wynn's going to be the first to pit. No, Jeff Edgar's the first to pit. Edgar and Schwartz come down. They are the first amongst the top drivers.
And it's 3 wide on the backstretch as Blake Wynn drops to the bottom and Mason Foster slips by. Blake Wynn got down really, really early and almost
That's not really
lost
what you
it.
want to do.
No.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, go ahead.
No, he got down in the marbles. I know he was trying to just make sure he cleared traffic and didn't get turned, but man, that was he lost a lot of time there. And
So now the question, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, now the question is, when do the leaders pit?
Yep, I was just about to ask the same thing myself. So, and let's go back over to that battle for 4th position between Mason Foster and Austin Edwards. And still not doing the best. Want to give a shout out, by the way, when we don't have a green flag cycle, he's been running inside the top 15, and we talked about him earlier. That is Derek Colson. We said earlier his best finish was 10th place, and he could even have a possibility of doing that as long as we have a caution. As long as we have a caution, he could give a top 10 finish. We'll just have to see what happens, though.
Yeah, as everybody starts to pit, anybody who stretches it hoping for a caution, they might get one the way things are going. Everybody, you can tell the competition really starting to heat up now. And
Blake Wynn exiting, and
Bronson's on pit road, Babinger staying out. They're splitting up the pit stops.
by the way, listen to this. Jonathan Schwartz, listen to this. Pit time, 38.17. Jeff Edgar, 49.3. Blake Wynn, 44.32. Does Schwartz have enough fuel to win this race with under 40 to go? Bronson's in, by the way.
Yep, Bronson went in. Babinger now coming in 1 lap later. They are splitting the pit stops. Luke Turpin stays out. Mason Foster, Austin Edwards, and Tyler McRae all staying out. They are hoping for the caution now. There would only be 4 cars on the lead lap if it came out right now.
So right now, I have Schwartz as the provisional leader at the moment. Brett Edgar now entering pit road. We'll watch Bronson and Babinger here very closely. Oh, this is a slow stop for Bronson. 49.17. Where will John Schwartz end up? Schwartz is off of turn number 4. Horsepower is the key here at Rockingham Speedway. Schwartz is there. He's by Bronson. He is by Bronson. So John Schwartz would be the provisional leader. Oh, baby, if he gets this done.
Austin Edwards came to pit road, as did Tyler McRae. So now waiting on Luke Turpin and Mason Foster to make their move. And
Davinger should come out soon. And Schwartz is in turn number 1. Babinger firing now. Schwartz gets by. Oh my, Jonathan Schwartz, if he has enough fuel, he could do it.
And Luke Turpin and Mason Foster now to pit road, so here comes Jonathan Schwartz to assume the lead.
Does anyone go less fuel? That's the main question we have right now. We're going to watch these stops closely, and then we'll try and find where Schwartz is. He's just under 2 laps down compared to the leaders right now, which are Luke Turpin, Mason Foster, and Tyler McRae. This is the money stop for all drivers right now. Everyone will be good to go the distance no matter what happens. Let's see here. Turpin, Foster, right sides are going on. Tires really key here at Rockingham.
You got to wonder if Jonathan Schwartz skipped left sides.
Schwartz is up to 3rd. Gets by Austin Edwards. And we'll see how this shakes down for Turpin and Foster.
But Austin Edwards, as he clears the 4, I think he's gaining on Schwartz right now. He is.
We'll have to watch closely, but I'm looking at Turpin closely as he fills the car up. 40 seconds. He's gone. He's gone. Turpin's gone. Foster's not. And Schwartz is at 1. Here we go for the lead. Oh, Turpin lost it on exit. He saves it, though. He guessed it a little bit too much in the marbles. And Schwartz goes to the lead.
He'll have roughly almost 2 second lead as he crosses the start-finish line with 30 laps to go. Luke Turpin has the time, but there will be lap traffic between the 2 cars, and it's going to be close for Schwartz on fuel, and it's going to be really close if he can hold off Luke Turpin, Austin Edwards, and Jordan Babinger.
Oh, baby, oh, baby. Babinger just ran a really fast lap, 26.67. And he's working with Bronson. Oh, my goodness. Look at the wad they got to deal with. Babinger and Bronson.
This might be what decides this race, this battle right here.
And now Babinger ahead of Bronson. That's definitely what the 48 wants. And the gap currently between Schwartz and Turpin, 1.4 seconds. A lap car separates them. That's Jose Gaudino in the number 20. And it's going down. It's going down.
It's going down quickly, but the other gap that's closing quickly is Austin Edwards to Luke Turpin. That was 3 seconds just a moment ago. It's now down to 1.5.
It's down to 0.8 of a second. Oh, boy. Schwartz is trying to take the risk here.
I think he only took right side tires if he took any.
I'm not too sure, but Turpin is chowing down for the lead. Under 30 laps to go. My goodness, Luke Turpin is like Jaws. He's like Jaws. He's a shark right now. And JB Smooth is just a regular guy in the water right now, about to get eaten by a shark in the Pacific Ocean.
It's going to get really, really dicey. But he's got to catch Schwartz, but then he's got to get back around him. They're going to have lap traffic in front of him as he gets there. Now, he's got, obviously, fresher, better tires, and he'll have the momentum, but he still has to fight his way past him, and with the lap cars coming into play, that's going to make things tricky. But now Luke Turpin is there.
He's got it. He's going to get him in the entry of turn number 3 without question. Luke Turpin, Superman, goes to the point at Rockingham. Schwartz took a gamble, and right now he is losing on it. Big time.
Schwartz has another problem, too. Austin Edwards, 1.5 seconds back, is closing.
The only thing right now I think that could save Schwartz is a yellow.
Austin Edwards still closing that gap down, not as quickly as Luke Turpin did. Jordan Babinger not that far behind either, and he's got his teammate Jonathan Bronson in 5th.
I'm going to take a look at this right now. Be a 15-point gain for Luke Turpin, but then cut it down to 10-point game because Babinger had the pole. They're neutral on who led a lap and all that stuff. And I'm continuing to look here. 10-point gain. It's going to be interesting if either Babinger or Bronson leads the most laps.
And here's
Whoever does, if it's Babinger, if Babinger leads the most laps and he finishes in 4th, the gap would go up to 38. If Bronson leads the most laps, the gap goes up to 43.
Well, here's another interesting one. Jonathan Schwartz is in a battle for a top 5 position in the points. He currently has the Hard Charger Award locked up. He can actually continue to keep that as long as he finishes 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, and Bronson does not win. But that could swap it completely if Bronson wins and Schwartz finishes outside the top 5. But this could be a very good points move here for Jonathan Bronson. But Austin Edwards is coming. It's now down to 3/4 of a second.
And you got to remember as well, Matt Bear came into the night 53 points ahead of John Schwartz. Schwartz is currently in 2nd. Matt Bear still driving in 28th position. We're going to calculate this as well. 170 minus 81. 89-point gain.
Austin Edwards the 2nd.
Yep, Edwards just took 2nd. Schwartz is fading big time. Right now, Schwartz would have 6th in the points. And Tyler McRae, I don't know what happened to him. He is back in the 13th position. He had a very slow stop. 128.2. I don't know if he had a pit road penalty that he had to serve for speeding on pit road. Must have been speeding on the entry. And then that does play into factor 2. 13th and what is now 5th. 155 minus 126. And that is a 29-point gain. And right now, it would still be McRae with 5th position. Technically be a 34-point gain.
Oh, the 48 got way loose in 3.
And he's getting a push from Jonathan Bronson in the turns. I don't know what Bronson's thinking there, as we've got 19 laps to go.
I think they're trying to do anything they can to get past Austin Edwards here and pick up as many. Oh my God, too much!
That got wicked close there. Bronson's probably saying in the chat, I'm so sorry, man. Bronson stuck up on the outside. Babinger's got to be very careful, not take any bold risks, especially towards the championship. If Bronson just spun Babinger, that would have been absolutely ginormous towards the championship.
It might have ended Babinger's chance if he gets wrecked out here with so few races left to make up the points. And they are gaining on the leader.
Oh, man. Babinger's dirt tracking it in 3 and 4. Austin Edwards says, I don't want anything to deal with this. Inside for 2nd spot.
I don't think Austin... Oh, I stand corrected. I was about to say I don't think Austin Edwards is done with this, but he is. He slides back and takes 4th place. Babinger now up into 2nd, 1.5 seconds away from Luke Turpin. 17 laps to go. He's got to gain at least a 1/10 of a second a lap.
We're going to have to watch this closely. Oh, no, Babinger's blanking. That's not what they want to have right now.
Definitely not with his teammate bump drafting him.
What we have to watch closely is definitely, like you said, the bump drafting. They're trying to close in a 1/10 a second on the bump drafting, but from what I'm seeing on live timing, Doug, I don't think that's happening. They're going to need a caution big time.
No, and Babinger keeps getting loose. They gained almost 0.2 of a second that time. That time,
1.36.
It keeps closing down. And
they were both at a 26.89. Turpin 27.1. Let's see what happens this time. Turpin is on lap traffic too.
If you're Luke Turpin, you are watching that mirror right now. You've got a one lap car between you and the teammates that are charging towards the front. And they are definitely coming. It's under a second now.
27.27 for Turpin. 26.97 for Babinger and Bronson. Here they come down the Thunder Alley.
They've got Austin Edwards right behind him. Austin not pushing this at all. Babinger is way...
Oh, man.
Oh, he gets a tap from his teammate. Manages to hold on to it. But, man, Babinger...
Let's look, though. 27.16 compared to a 26.92. There's smoke ahead. Somebody got the wall, not sure who. No yellow at the moment. They are closing and not Superman. Superman is going to have to deal with a little bit of kryptonite. And Babinger and Bronson. They're dropping some bombs for right now. Oh, Babinger loose again.
And Babinger had help that time when he got loose. Bronson was right there and just couldn't get out of it in time. Now Bronson's going to look low.
This is what Turpin wants to see, the dropping bombs drivers side by side. Who's giving up the inch, though, is the question as Logan Jones goes by. Going to be Babinger. Up the high side. My goodness, his car is loose. Kind of like Octavio Rondeletto or Patrick Sullivan.
Definitely, and he pulls down in front of Austin Edwards. Now, Austin's going to be right there on the back bumper. I don't think Austin's going to bump him, though, and do the same that we were seeing earlier. John Schwartz managing to hold on to fifth, and as of right now, as long as Bronson does not win, John Schwartz will get the bonus points for hard charger, but one position will change that for either one of them.
Babinger now bump drafting Bronson. Turpin had the faster car last time. Let's see what happens this time by at the stripe. They are faster, 26.90, 26.84 for Bronson and Babinger versus a 27.10 for Luke Turpin. Gap is 0.7 of a second with 10 to go.
And you got to wonder if they can get up and get around Luke Turpin. Is that when Bronson lets his teammate back by? We've seen Bronson helping his teammate as much as possible. That car is way loose with another car pushing it, but it is fast and stable in the draft. So maybe he just needs that air off the nose to keep that car going the right way and Bronson to keep driving forward. They're gaining, but slower now.
They're still gaining, especially Bronson, 1/10 of a second per lap. The only weakness right now is Babinger getting wicked loose in turns 3 and 4. 8 to go for Turpin. Half second.
Yeah, Turpin's going to be mirror driving here in about a lap.
Let's see what they do now. Bronson's got the draft of Luke Turpin, but Turpin, oh my. Lap traffic. This race may come down to who weaves better with the back markers. Let's look at the gap here at the line. 7 to go. Down to 0.4 of a second. 20. They're even. 26.85. This is what Turpin wants. Lap traffic. That's not what the guys behind them want. Birchmeyer lets the second place driver go at Bronson. They are teammates. Turpin, though, getting hold up by Colgan.
And Colgan way loose up high. That was almost another problem as here comes Jonathan Bronson. Now 0.3 of a second. Even if he can't get his teammate. Oh!
Hang on, Bronson! Hang on, Bronson! Oh my goodness, lap traffic could be a factor. By the way, the DBR team owner is mad at Colgan. Could that be the race right there? This time by, they will say green, 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 5 to go for Turpin, and that really cost them a lot of time.
Yep, and now no matter what happens on track, there will be no caution, so whatever happens, happens, and you've got to wonder, next time Jonathan Bronson, if he catches another lap car and they don't automatically move, is he going to move him to get his teammate back up there? They've got the 12 right in front of Luke Turpin.
Off of turn number 4, 4 laps to go. If Bronson and Babinger want to win, they're going to have to pull a Hail Mary out of their butts.
It's going to be close. The 12 car is definitely going to hurt the 454 unless he just drops to the bottom and lets him go.
And he will let him go this time.
Schwartz went to pit road. So
wow,
he did not have enough.
He gambled and he lost. 5 laps were left. 3 laps to go, excuse me, now for Luke Turpin. This would be Turpin's 7th win of the season. And a big message for Jordan Babinger. Tripp, though, going to fight back, though, on the bottom. I thought he was going to make a pass for a moment. Bronson, though's not giving up, though. Bronson's still in this war. 2 laps to go. for Luke Turpin. Jeremy Leto lets the field go by. Now Matt Bear will be a friend to Luke Turpin and let him go by, but will he let Bronson go by? This battle is not over yet. It's down to 0.3 of a second, Doug.
It's really getting sketchy with the lap cars coming into play, with the leaders battling, and the time just, they close up and then they lose some time here, and they're going to get the white flag this time. Oh, Bronson gets into the 12. White flag in the air.
Exit. May not be what he wanted. Did Turpin just win this race, or does Bronson have one more trick in the rabbit's hat? Final lap off of turn 2. Down Thunder Alley for the final time. They wobble big time down Thunder Alley. Luke Turpin, is he going to get this? Bronson sends it in. Not going to be enough. Off of turn 4. Luke Turpin, big points paid win. He takes the Scum Blaster 350 at the Rock.
Jonathan Bronson comes home second. Babinger still having a good points night in third. Austin Edwards in fourth. Mason Foster fifth. And despite the late race pit stop, Schwartz comes home sixth.
Oh boy, and Bronson will get the Hard Charger Award regardless. Only 3 yellows in the race, and Luke Turpin gets Jordan Babinger.
Wait a minute. Is there a tiebreaker for the Hard Charger Award?
Yes, it goes to the higher driver
Okay.
that had the position. So Bronson will get the Hard Charger Award as Luke Turpin will light them up. Oh, and we got the Devil Derby happening early. Kendrick Cryer
Whoops.
just ruined a celebratory moment there. We should be getting the official results here shortly for iRacing. And once we get that, we will update it for you officially. And here we go. We're about to find out who led the most laps in this race. It was Jordan Babinger with 94 laps led compared to Jonathan Bronson's 69. We're going to figure out the point standings right now. Give me one moment. Let me take a look here. And a couple of other things here. So it is a third place finish for Babinger. So 10 points up for Luke Turpin. 5 for the pole, 5 for the most laps. The gap will remain the same at 33 points headed into next week at Lanier.
Well, that will definitely be interesting, and based on the last race at Lanier, that is another one that could
Yes.
mess things up for somebody or help somebody get a huge lead.
Definitely. All right. We're getting ready to bring in your top 3. Jordan Babinger, Jonathan Bronson, and Luke Turpin. I'm going to try and find first off here Bronson, if he is in here. Taking a look. There's Babinger. I'll move him into the green room real quick. I'm going to tell race control here something real quick. So give me one moment. Give me one moment.
Octavio Rondoletto did recover up to 9th place. Derek Colson, best run of the season, came home in 10th. Gerald Poole has his best run of the season, coming in 15th. I believe that is his best. No, that is not his best run, but another good run for that team. Sean Patrick recovers after early incidents, comes home in 16th. And Jeff Edgar definitely had a great run here tonight. He came home in 8th, his best run of the season. And how about Blake Wynn finishing in 7th?
All right, we're going to get things going here on post-race. Start things off with Jordan Babinger, a third-place finish. Jordan, that's got to be unfortunate with what happened because you two we're closing in. I know you had a really loose car in the turns, but at the same time, you guys had a chance, and then lap traffic let you guys down.
Yeah, it definitely did there. I mean, we were real close on fuel. I think that's where Loop leapfrogged us in the pits on fuel. But yeah, them lap cars, I mean, they just weren't getting out of the way. And Jonathan would have got to him there. I don't think I would have, but I think Jonathan would have got there if it wasn't for the 7 car. But it was a good race. Other than that, we had a super fast car.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, yeah, you led the most laps as well. The points game between you
Cool.
and Turpin does remain neutral at a 33-point lead. Now with 4 races to go, points remain the same. How do you take it in next week at Lanier?
A linear, I guess we better put a lot of practice in. I think we had a good run last time we were there, and go from there.
All right, who do you want to give shout outs to tonight?
I want to thank Jonathan for working with me the whole race. He did a real good job there at the end. I was super loose, and he got into me once or twice. But I want to thank you guys for calling the race, and XCAL for putting these events up. And it's pretty cool. We're gonna have Alex in and the MRN from MRN. That's looking forward to that. So yeah, just want to thank you guys.
Absolutely. All righty. Jordan, we'll let you go. Great run tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Marty.
Second place, Jonathan Bronson does not have a working mic at the moment, so it doesn't look like we'll get to talk to him tonight.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. Let's give a shout out as well. I'm going to see if he is in here. Let's get him on in here. I want to talk with him because we don't have Bronson. I do want to talk with the storyline driver. He just tied for his best finish of the season. That's Derek Colson. Doug, you've got Colson with you.
Derek, an amazing run tonight. Congratulations on a top 10 finish.
Derek, you got a copy? Ah, man. Bunch of guys I don't think really want to talk with us tonight.
I think there's a little frustration after that one.
I do want to take a look at something else, too, in regards to Jeff Edgar. Jeff Edgar with an 8th place finish. That is his second best finish of the season. His best finish was a 3rd that came at... and I think we may have him now. Let's try him again. Colson, you got us? And I don't think he does. I'm putting him back in the hauler. You know what? Let's just go to K2 Victory Lane instantly. Doug, you've got our winner, Luke Turpin.
Luke, congratulations. Another win here tonight, and it got a little close there at the end.
Yeah, man, I was backing up to him. I was, with 10 to go, I was considering the possibility of like a green-white checker, so I was trying to build like an extra lap in. So I kind of rethought my plan right towards the end there. I was afraid of that, and then it reoccurred to me that I'd probably save a little under yellow, so then I kind of got back in it, and it just worked out. It was one of those deals. I was a little beat down, and after the last 2 or 3 weeks here, I felt like I had the field killed, and then the 0.1% where I was going to get screwed, I got screwed, and now today it worked out.
Well, and another thing we noticed tonight, you weren't stretching your fuel mileage as long as you usually do. You weren't pushing that to the limit. Do you think that shortening your fuel runs and going closer to what everybody else was helped?
Yeah. I mean, this is a long on throttle kind of track, so it's hard to save fuel. I mean, a lot of guys will probably tell you they were only able to grab a lap or two, just doing generic fuel save. It was hard to get much more than that. So when you got tracks like this, big tracks, it's hard with on throttle time to get that. But I always get played the fuel guy, but there's speed there. I think it just gets unnoticed.
Oh, we definitely notice it. It's just that you have the speed, and I think you've got a couple extra gallons in your tank as well.
Yeah, like I said, right towards the end there, I was getting a little worried about a green-white checker, but then I kind of thought through it in my head, and I was like, no, I'm probably good. Credit to Babinger and Bronson. Those guys tandem drafting like they did. They had a good plan. It was going to take something kind of special to beat them. And then kudos to Austin, man. He probably finished 4th with about a 15th place car. He really got the most out of that deal. He did us a big favor, too, while we were trying to hunt them down. He he kind of got out of the lead of the train there, knowing I think he kind of knew he was down on speed a little bit, and ultimately probably gave me the chance to win. So I gotta thank Austin for that. And like I said, I think he got a fourth out of about a 15th place car. So mad kudos to him. He was going to be the guy I was racing if it would have gone green to the end. Me and him were on the same plan. Bronson and Jordan were smashed on that strategy, but after that yellow, it kind of came back to them, and they were in the catbird seat.
Well, congratulations, man! Another win. The points lead is still it's still going to be close coming down to the end of the season, but you definitely got a great bit of points here tonight. Any team or sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Aaron, for putting this whole deal on. Like I always say, this guy, he puts in a lot of work behind the scenes nobody sees. Thank you guys for the broadcast. I'm sure, hopefully I gave you something to get a little excited about. I know the last couple of weekends has been kind of good to broadcast, so hopefully that's good, especially for the big announcement kind of coming up you got going. So big credit to Bear. Bear was willing to help me there at the end if I needed the help, but I kind of wanted to win this one straight up. So big credit to Bear for being, a solid teammate and wanting to help me out. And Greg kind of helped me out every now and then. I feel terrible for Bear, man. He lost power halfway through the race. He would have had a top 5 for sure. Just appreciate everybody putting this on. I appreciate Jordan. He's pushing me, and Austin too. These guys are pushing me to do better, and that's all I can ask out of myself. I don't think I really got anything to prove to anyone other than myself. I just want to keep pushing.
All right, man. Congratulations. Another win and a great points night.
Thanks, bud.
So, Luke Turpin gets his 7th win of the season. An impressive performance by Superman tonight. I think if it's not for Robert Colgan, Luke Turpin does not win this race. Would you agree on that?
Boy, I think if it's not for Colgan, we would have seen a possibly 3-wide battle coming down to the checkered flag there. I think, I don't know if, I know they would have got to Turpin. Getting around him, especially for Babinger, would have been a totally different story. But they would have got to him, and it would have been interesting.
Bad Luck Bronson just strikes again. I can't believe how many races he's come so close to winning, and it just hasn't worked.
I really think it's coming before the end of this season. I think the bad luck streak is close to being broke. I mean, another second place finish. He's up there. He's got the speed. He's got the position. He just needs a little luck to go his way. But, man, he's having a heck of a run.
Listen to this as well. This is interesting. I'm going through the Discord general chat, and actually, I think this may have to do a little bit of rage here, because Bronson is not happy without question, and he actually just broke his steering wheel deck. Wow. That's going to be a costly investment. I'm not sure what's going to happen there in that regards. So, let's give you the full field rundown from tonight. Luke Turpin gets the win. Jonathan Bronson 2nd. Jordan Babinger 3rd. Austin Edwards 4th. Mason Foster 5th. Jonathan Schwartz 6th. Blake Wynn 7th. Jeff Edgar 8th. Octavio Rondeletto 9th. Derek Colson 10th. Brett Edgar 11th. Tyler McRae 12th. Joe Campbell 13th. Pat Sullivan 14th. Gerald Poole 15th. Sean Patrick 16th. Gregorio Dorso 17th. Greg Holes 18th. Kenny Tripp 19th. And Kendrick Cryer is 20th. Jose Gaudino 21st. Daniel Miller 22nd. 23rd. John Friley 24th. Robert Colgan 25th. Trevor Birchmeyer 26th, John Brancaccio. 27th, Jeremy Leto. 28th, Matt Bear. 29th, Alex Krapser. 30th, Logan Jones. 31st, Ryan Seams. 32nd, Art Hendren. 33rd, Sean Andrews. 34th, Rafael Semprich. 35th, Dwayne Robinson. 36th, Aiden McConaughey. And 37th, Josh Doobie. So what we have calculated, the point standings remain the same. No gap, no loss for Luke Turpin or Jordan Babinger. 33 points as we head to next week at Lanier. And Doug, you remember what happened last week or last time out when we were in Georgia at Lanier. Crazy finish to the end with Austin Edwards, Luke Turpin. You had Tyler Jalbert many weeks ago. Anything could happen here.
Most definitely. The way that last one finished, it was right after the 5 to go, no more cautions. chaos utterly erupted into turn one and turned the whole race upside down one more time. Lanier is always an exciting race, but that one definitely took the cake for sure. And hey, huge shout out to Jeremy Leto tonight for leading some laps. And like you said, we got to research, but I think that might have been the most different leaders in an XCAL event.
You want to bring this up as well. When it comes to the bonus points, I think we forgot to mention that we talked about earlier the bonus points between Turpin and Babinger. Fastest lap of the race goes to Mason Foster. He had a 26.566. Hard Charger Award, like we said, goes to Bronson. Leading laps, that will get at least the 5 bonus points. Luke Turpin, Jonathan Bronson, Jordan Babinger, Austin Edwards, Mason Foster, John Schwartz, Blake Wynn, Jeff Edgar, Octavio Rondeletto, Tyler McRae, Sean Patrick, Kenny Tripp, Robert Colgan, Jeremy Leto, Logan Jones. That is all the drivers that led. We had 50 lead changes in this race.
15 leaders, too.
50 lead changes among 15 different leaders. We will check and see if that is an XCAL record. But wow, that was impressive. So, with that being said, we are going to bid adieu for you tonight. I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors for in this our league: Butt Kicker, K2 Sauce, JT's Mobile Pressure Washing, Tenerife Gin, More Polish Pottery, also Simracer Coin, Tri-E Inc., and the XCAL Racing web shop. On behalf of everyone at XCAL Racing, Aaron Hellebush, the president, PDJ Zilla, the vice president, our admins, Derek Colson, Jeremy Leto, Paul Coleman Jr., on behalf of Doug Burns, who is working in mission control, and my color commentator tonight, I'm Marty Sakala, signing things off for tonight. We salute Luke Turpin. 7th win this season, remains in the points lead with 4 races to go. Thank you all for joining us tonight. So long from The Rock.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.